now, Danielle, the IMF.
Hey, Mia.
Hey, Khalid.
Mr. Birdman. Here he goes.
Yacker. Did anything else happen to come in today? In the afternoon?
sorry?
Nothing else came, right, from CDW?
Oh, no. It was just the screen, the, what was it? The printer and the Voice Pro.
Is it Epson box?
I think HP. Hold on 1 second. I'll show you.
Okay.
I think HP. Yeah.
I thought we already got an HP.
No, this is the new HP that just came in. Looks like a printer or such. I can't really tell by this box. Can you see this?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right. And then this long piece here,
Mhm.
Voice Pro down here.
Okay. That's a part of the new audio system.
Right.
Hi, Jaco.
Hi, Mia. Hi, Khalid. Hi.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Thank God. A little hot. I have in the oven a tahina mint cauliflower.
Nice.
Is Middle East. And I'm also making a chicken cumin with like coconut milk. It's like an Indian dish.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I can smell it. I can smell the delicious chicken coming off the stove.
Oh my goodness. You're out here making us jealous. Could go for some nice food right now.
Yeah.
Well, Khalid, you're welcome to come over when Corona's over.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, if you're throwing a dinner party, I would love to come by.
Khalid gets an invite. What about me? Wow, thanks. Jeez. I'll remember the next time I see your name on my call ID.
No.
Mia, you will bring the dinner to you.
Oh, that's so nice of you guys.
Are we going to have quorum tonight?
Yes. Hi, Alondra.
Hi, Alondra.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacob, we definitely should. At least 26 people have confirmed that they will be attending for tonight.
All right, it's a Orthodox, it's a Hasidic day. It's the anniversary of the passing of the Rebbe. If you could see, I'm wearing my long coat. It's called a kapata.
Mm-hmm.
Special day. We commemorate every year since its passing, like a day of good deeds and action, good action, positive deeds and positive, self-reflection. So I'm not sure if everybody's going to make it. I can tell you Rabbi Sperlin's not going to make it.
Okay.
And I'm not sure about the others, but I know that it's a special day, so I'm not sure.
I see. Okay, all right then. Hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second, I'll be back.
Who's coming from the from the...
For 882 Nostrand Avenue, it should be the same representative.
882 Nostrand.
Oh, so yeah, it should be the same rep.
All right,
I should hope so. So they can answer anything that was discussed at the
all right.
public safety. I guess I'm going to place the agenda in the chat. I see we have a few visitors.
You could share it. You could share your screen.
Yeah, I'm going to place the file in the chat so everyone is aware of how the meeting. what's on the agenda, just in case they're a first-time visitor.
Hi, I'll just chime in. My name's Rebecca, and I'm a first-time visitor. Like from the website, it wasn't totally clear if this is like open to all community members or if it's for a limited group. So I hope it's okay that I just wanted
Oh,
to.
no, it's fine. All of our meetings are open to the public and welcome. I placed the agenda in the chat if you would like to review it.
Yeah, I just saw. Thank you. So
No problem. No worries.
for having me.
Hi, everybody. How are you? It's Warren.
Good evening, Mr. Burke. Good evening, Michelle. Good evening.
evening.
Mr. Burke, did you see that video today I sent you? My
Yes, I
God.
did. Amazing. Amazing. Like a
Amazing and
wild.
frightening. Mia, there was unfortunately a shooting right in front of Mr. Burke's house. And they released the footage today, and you see two teens just coming over and just shooting in the middle of the street. It's very frightening.
Is this the young lady that was that came up on the Citizen app the other night on
Yes.
Sterling and Brooklyn?
This was
Yeah.
on Sterling and Brooklyn. I think it was
Yeah.
during a memorial on the corner of Sterling and Brooklyn, exactly. A Monday night.
Crazy.
Hello, good
Okay,
night.
we're up to 22.
Good night, all.
Good evening, Mr.
Hello.
Roberts.
Hey, when are they supposed to get the election results?
Angela, camera's up.
Hey, Robert.
Hi, everyone. Karen from the Brooklyn DA.
Hello.
Karen, is that you? Phone number ending in 0241?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to remember who you
Thanks, Ian.
No problem. Good evening, Karen.
Hi. I'm going to mute myself now.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
Excuse me, Mia, who was that?
Hi, I'm here.
That's Karen from the Brooklyn DA's office.
Ah, okay.
I just want to be able to rename her in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Do we have any other phone numbers?
Oh, yes, I do have a number ending in 3718. Hold on, let me find them. Because it would actually be great too. Hi, Arna.
Hey there, can you hear me tonight?
Yes, I got you.
Oh,
I'm just
nice.
gonna rename you because you're coming in under your phone, so I'm gonna rename you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Francisco.
And we have a Galaxy S8.
How can't you get in?
Hi, this is Matthijs Limburger, presents.
Hello, Matthias. So Mir, we have a Galaxy S8. Can whoever phone that is, identify yourself, please? Oh, that's Anna. Thank you. And we have a phone number ending in 3718.
That's Robert Mitchell. He labeled stuff in the
Robert.
chat.
Okay. So let me just put that down here.
Music is good.
Hello.
Hello, Evelyn.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you, Mr.
I'm
Fred
good.
and Mr. Warren
I'm good, thank you.
and the rest of the board?
Start video on the bottom. Show you again? Stop video and then start.
Good afternoon, Fred.
Sagatiero, how are you doing?
It's been a while, Brother Baptiste.
But it's great to see you. Great to see you.
Same here.
Okay. I think we'll give it another minute or so. We're nearing a critical mass and we'll be able to begin the meeting quite shortly. So about another minute or two.
Yakov Berman, how are you?
Thank God, I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, I'm hot as hell. You know, I hate the summer.
Well, I have an air conditioner blowing right on me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Rabbi Sperlin, you're here.
Yeah, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here.
I gave me a host speech. You're not going to show up because of Gimel Tammuz.
I have to be out of here in 45 minutes. So I hope they can take the election before 45 minutes.
Today is the anniversary of the Lubavitch Rebbe's passing. So it's a special day for the Jewish community. So prayer and Torah study.
Yaakov, are people sad or are they happy?
Amen?
Are people sad or happy? Are they celebrating his life or are they sad?
That's a great question. On one hand, they're sad because he's no longer here. On the other hand, they're celebrating his accomplishment. And we believe the soul is still living, and he is living through his students. It says in the Talmud that when somebody passes, through their students and their children, they live on. So it's a sad day because, we miss him, but it's a happy day. His life continues. His legacy continues. His life's work continues. But it's a great question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to mute myself. I just want to make a suggestion. If you should use your real name if possible on the Zoom, because some of us are new. It's going to be easier for me to know who to unmute and mute. I see that Pat Moses is golf, but you're able to put your name in. So put in your real name. It'll be easier for the office to.
I'll be renaming people as I identify them.
If you could do that, that's fine. All right.
Hi, Mia.
Good evening, Ms. Williams. How are you?
And hi, Yaakov.
Good. I'm about to unmute the chair, guys, so that we can all begin. Please mute yourselves and move to a quiet background if possible.
You want me to mute myself?
Yes. I'm about to unmute the chair so that we can begin. Thank you so much, Ms. Williams. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, one moment, Mr. Chair.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I think we still have one mic live somewhere.
I have to, it's a bit of a list. We have 51 folks here. Give me, I'm hitting the scroll. I think that was Arna. Okay.
No worries. Okay, so we're going to call the meeting to order. The time is now 7:12. I want to thank everyone for coming this evening to our last regular meeting of the 2020-21 year. My name is Fred Baptiste. I'm the proud chair of CB9. And this evening we have a lot of business we need to conclude. I definitely want to say and start on this note in terms of it has been an honor and a privilege for me to serve as your chair for this last 10 months, 12 months. And I think that I'm proud of this board in terms of how far we've come and the things we've accomplished and the direction that we're going in. But we still have a lot of work to do. And with that being said, we're going to commence. So we're going to waive the reading of the rules of order for the meeting. A couple of housekeeping items, though, and I think Mia already kind of touched on these. So for one, please, as we're going through the meeting, please keep your phone on mute if you're not speaking. Mia will be on hand, the district office team, to unmute microphones. In terms of phone controls, especially if you are on a phone, on a telephone, and don't have access to the to a computer, two buttons or two functions to be aware of are the *6. So *6 will mute you and unmute you. So that's one to remember. And the second one is *9. So if you're on phone and you wish to ask a question, by pressing *9, your number will highlight, and we'll see that you have a question, and we'll be able to acknowledge you, and you'll be able to make your question or make your statement. Okay, and with those items, we're going to move on to the next item. We have no presentations this evening, so we have applications for the New York State Liquor Authority. And I would ask Mia, would you unmute the chair of the committee, Rabbi Yaakov Bierman?
Us 882 LLC, 882 Nostrand, many of us know the 99-cent store. It's just a few doors down from the board. There's going to be a couple and a family bought that building with some other partners, and they are making on the ground floor a library/bar. They came in front of the committee. I'm actually going to drop into the chat a link to the New York State Liquor Authority's website where it discusses a little bit what our job as a board is when it comes to liquor licenses. They came before the committee. The first time they came before the committee, they didn't have all their paperwork. We asked them to come back. They came a second time before the committee. I wasn't there at that time. Warren Burke chaired the meeting. They came before the board. We had some questions. The board had some concerns with their request and with regards to how late they're going to be open at night on weekends. They asked for a 4 a.m. To stay open till 4 a.m. And the board. There was also concern about outside and behind the establishment. There's going to be an outdoor area. So they came back. The general board last month sent them back to the committee for a third time, and we had a discussion and we brought these concerns to them, and they are committed to not allowing noise outside, but they agreed to have the outdoor area closed at 11 o'clock on weekdays instead of 12. They also agreed to move the weekend closing time to 2 a.m. from 4 a.m. Now, I just want to bring it to everybody's attention that we are, as a community board, as a committee, we're really here to advise. Part of the process for new applications, they come before us, we assess their application, we check in with NYPD, FDNY, we see if there are many other establishments in close proximity, and we give our recommendations we send a letter to the state, and then they, on a state level, decide whether or not to grant a license. My experience has been that in many, many cases, the state does not take our concerns seriously, and whether or not we allow the license or we don't allow it, they usually end up getting it anyway. So when an establishment comes before the committee and we have a conversation and they're committed to working with us and they agree to move their hours earlier, we generally recommend that the state grant them, we give a letter of support. And one of the reasons is because when we give a letter of support, and when we give a letter of support and we incorporate this agreement into that letter, the state has the ability to make it binding. And if they do not keep to this agreement, they could lose their license or get penalties. So when an establishment comes to us, we always try to work with them unless there's they have a history of bad conduct or it looks really outrageous what they're trying to do. But in cases where we could work with them, we listen to them, and if they're willing to work with the community, there's no reason not to grant it, then we generally give a letter of support. So again, because they agreed, we didn't see any reason why they don't deserve a letter of support. There is no history with the police, with the fire department. They all seem like good people just trying to make a living. They agreed to change their hours to accommodate the community. Our recommendation as a committee was a vote 3-1 to give them a letter of support, but on condition that they agree to the 2 a.m. closing on weekends and 11 p.m. outdoor area be closed on weekdays. That was our recommendation, and I hope the board supports, votes in accordance with the recommendation. Any questions? Or is the establishment here maybe? Fred, are they here?
We're going to ask them to identify themselves in the chat so they can be unmuted. Any board members, please raise your hands. Khalid and I will be scrolling through as they are large. We have a large group tonight. Please be patient. Ms. Boyd, I see your hand is raised. Is it in regard to the application or just?
I request that we only take questions from the community board members at this time. We've brought them before the board twice and before the committee 3 times. And as we've, there is no need at this point to take questions from the community regarding this license. The 3rd time they're coming here.
I have a question from a board member, Mr. Lasana. Primo, give me one question. Give me one moment. I'll unmute you.
Sure.
Go ahead, Primo.
Thanks. And thanks for the overview Yaakov. Wanted to just ask a quick question as a point of clarity around what you mentioned. You said that they were going to close at 2 on the weekends and close their backyard at 11 o'clock. I just wanted to make sure, are you talking, when you say close at 2, did you mean close the establishment on all days at 2 o'clock? And when you said close the backyard at 11 o'clock, did you mean close the backyard on all days at 11 o'clock? Because I remember there was a little bit of
That's a great question. That's a great question. If you look at their application, they had on weekends till 4 a.m. They're going to be open. So we were concerned with the 4 a.m. closing time. So we said weekends, they should move it up to 2 a.m. And we were concerned with the weekdays, 12 a.m. So on weekdays, we asked them to move up to 11 p.m. We did not ask to make a request for the outdoor area on weekends, in my recollection. And and again, the state liquor authority is going to do what they want, really. And if somebody wants maybe they'll be open to changing the weekends to 11 p.m. also. That's also a possibility. But this is what we are recommending, that we support the application with the stipulation that on weekends, they close at 2 and not 4, and on weekdays 11 p.m. the outdoor area is closed. It was also, their signature supports was only till 2 a.m. as well. That was another issue we had, because their support from the community only demonstrated support till 2 a.m. And they did, we had over 25 signature supports, including the nearby owners, and we saw no reason to deny the request.
Yep, that makes sense. I just wanted to make sure that we had total clarity on which days the backyard would be closed to. So I'm assuming, based on what you said, that it's 11 o'clock on all days. I'm just maybe not sure on the weekends when the backyard is intended to close for us, in our letter of support, what we would be saying.
Fred, Primo, I want to just, they are not allowed to have noise outdoors, whether they're open or closed. There cannot be noise, there cannot be music. And if there is noise, the neighbors are encouraged to call 311 and work with the owners. But we're not saying that till 11 p.m. they should have noise. We're saying it can be open and people could be there quietly reading or drinking, not noise. And again, if we support and we have a stipulation we support, then we're giving the city more authority to enforce it, as opposed to just not weighing in.
Yeah.
We're still early on in the meeting. If Fred, it's up to you, your discretion. If you want to take a question from the community, you're welcome to. I'm happy to answer. After if you feel there's enough time.
We do. We can't take too many, but we can definitely entertain some questions during public session.
Oh, okay. During public, okay.
All right. If it's possible, let's do a quick speakers list, so at least that way we identify how many questions we have, and we can just make sure we move on.
Okay, I have Suki with a question. Guys, just be very patient. We have 61 participants in the room, so it takes a minute to scroll and see everyone, so please be patient.
Hi, everyone. I'll be very quick. It sounds like they're willing to not to do music in the outdoor area. Should we make that part of the stipulation?
Music in the outdoor area is illegal after 10 p.m. anyway. There's noise. They can't have, the level of noise outdoor is illegal anyway. The question is whether it's going to be open and risk, people making noise, even though there's no official noise, no music. But I have no problem if you want to include that in the stipulation, that there won't be any noise in the evening. But again, I think it's going to be governed by local law, whatever time that is. That's how it's going to be enforced. And if the owner is on here now, or the representative, they could speak as to if they agreed to this to being in the stipulation as well in our letter of support. Are they on?
They've not identified themselves in the chat as of yet.
Whatever the law is, that's what's going to be enforced, which I believe it's 10 p.m.
Okay, scrolling. One moment, guys. Okay, just to be clear, the public will have a chance to address the application and pose any questions in the public session.
Well, no, they can ask the question now, as we're in
Now?
public session.
Okay,
they
got
can-
it.
Yes.
Give
You
me
can ask
one
that.
second. I know I have Ms. Boyd. Let me scroll all the way through so I can create. Anyone else with a question? I just have Ms. Boyd. Then Ms. Boyd, I will be unmuting you. Go ahead.
Unmuted.
Ms. Boyd, go ahead.
Okay. I was at that meeting and I did not hear the owners state that they agreed to the 11 o'clock. I did not hear them state that they were putting that agreement in writing. So my question is, you passed a resolution that you would recommend that the 11 o'clock would be the time in which they should not be engaging in outdoor activity, but did you get anything in writing from the owners stating that this is what they plan on doing? Because I didn't see it, and I was at that meeting.
They did agree at that meeting to close at 2 at 11. I did speak afterwards to their attorney and he agreed. I did not request it in writing, but we are going to include in our letter to the State Liquor Authority that we agreed conditional on these conditions.
And then she also agreed that there would be no music. Did you get that in writing?
That question was asked and answered already.
So you didn't get anything in writing?
I responded. Thank you.
Right, okay.
Permission to speak, Mayor?
You would have to direct that to the chair, please.
Chair, may I speak?
Of course. Oh, me or Fred?
I just want to say that the lady, when she was there and then the question was asked to change or the request was made to change the hours, she did say yes, that she would like to change it. She had no problem to change it to 11 o'clock in the evening.
And that was confirmed by the attorney as well. Again, if you look at the history of this board, we voted for, we voted against, and the State Liquor Authority does what they do, and I hope that with our letter they will incorporate our suggestions into their license. They will, they won't. But I'm not going to start entering into contracts with every establishment that comes before us for a letter of support. It's my understanding that's not standard procedure. And I mean, if the chair wants to comment on that, that's my understanding. We give a letter of support conditional on whatever we agree, and we don't enter into binding agreements or arbitrations or stipulations with the applicants.
Well, that has not been the case with the former chair, where she had a form that they had to fill out, and it included all of those conditions. So that's not true, Jackoff, because I've been here since 2014, and she had a form, and it stated very clearly what time you were going to open, what time you were going to close, and this form was filled out by every applicant. So maybe you need to talk to Ms. Baker.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Ms. Boyd. I think you're talking about the CB9 stipulation that's created by our office. The applicant did complete that and submit it to our office. And I believe it was distributed to the board members prior to the meeting several times. And I believe that the chair placed it in the chat as well. The CB9 stipulation that lays out the hours of operation, their menu, their business layout. So that information was completed and the standard practice to be presented to all applicants.
Well, we would like a copy of that because I did not get a copy of that.
Yeah, Berman, could you please place it in the chat? Thank you so much.
In the chats.
All right. And just to kind of, I did see that we do have another member who would like to ask a question. But just to clarify, well, actually not to clarify, but just to dovetail on what the chair of the committee said. With regards to this, we are approving with our conditions in terms of our understanding is this is how they're going to operate. All licenses are renewed on a periodic basis. So this is something we have our resolution, what we agreed to. And at that time, if they're not being a good neighbor, if they're not doing that, we absolutely have every right in terms of saying, you know what, if this is how you're going to behave in our community and this is how you're going to act, we can withhold our recommendation the next time as well. So I think right now we just need to make sure that we're sticking to the issue at hand, which is the recommendation of the committee to approve with the stipulations that the chair has noted.
Thank you.
Right. Mia, I did see, I think it was Mr. Margolin. Does he still have a question?
Yeah, I do have a question, if I may speak. So first of all, I'm wondering out loud, why is it that there's suddenly so much interest in an actual business that's actually looking to open up a new business and provide community employment during these very trying economic times? Why we're suddenly challenging them so much? That's number one. And number two, I find it absolutely laughable that we're sitting here and discussing noise complaints and enforcement, and all of this in the midst of an absolute barrage of fireworks that doesn't seem to end. And, you know, I just find it absolutely insane, and really, I'm just aghast by it. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, with regard to your first question, I want to say that I think that the great points. A lot of small businesses are struggling, and I think that any business that wants to risk it and try to open in this neighborhood during these trying times, we should be supportive of the business. And regarding your second point, I think all of us on this board are probably suffering from lack of sleep because of the fireworks, and we share your concern and outrage.
All right, with that, Mia, do you see any other questions?
I don't see any other raised hands.
I think Tessa Hakavera maybe, no?
No, yeah, she has her hand up physically. How come Mrs. Vieira? Hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah. If we're done with questions, can we move on, please?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Chairman Bierman. We are going to entertain the recommendation of the committee when we get to the business session. We are going to move on in the agenda. We are now going to go to the public comment period. Do we have the public comment period lasts for exactly 30 minutes in duration. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please make sure we adhere to the 3-minute time limit, please. Mia, do we have anyone signed up for commentary?
We had no, we don't have any members that called to register or email to register. I will go through the participant list. If anyone would like to pose a question, but hold on, their hand is not right. I see 2 people. Allie, I see you. Thank you very much. We have Alicia Boyd, Ali Mihailovich. I don't see any other raised hands. Any other quick questions? If you don't want to ask the question yourself, you may place it in the chat.
What questions with regards to?
Or I guess, or any comments that you'd like to place into public session? Hold on. Okay, so far I just have Alicia Boyd and Ali Mihailovich.
Okay, so we will have those 2 speakers and we will close the public commentary on them.
And I'm sorry, Arna from the Majority Leader's Office as well, but that'll be, I guess, an acknowledgements.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, Ms. Boyd, I'll be unmuting you now.
Okay, first I just want to say my name is Alicia Boyd. I represent 2 grassroots community groups. One is MTOP, the Movement to Protect the People, and FLAC, Flower Lovers Against Corruption. I wanted to welcome all of the new board members who are now a part of the board. And I just wanted to briefly just give you a little history about this community board. If you are just newly arrived, if you've been here for a long time, because it's important for us to know what our history is about. For about 35 years, this board has been run by a very small majority of people, a small group of white males run by Rabbi Goldstein, and Pearl Miles, who was the district manager. She was a Black woman. And during that time I lived here, we could not speak at our community board meetings. We were not allowed, there was no open public session. We were not allowed to put anything on the agenda. Everything had to go through Pearl Miles. If she did not like what you had to say, or she was not interested in your topic of discussion, you did not get a chance to speak. In 2014, that was supposed to have changed. Eric Adams came in as the borough president. He sent his minions into the community requesting that Black community board members come and be a part of the community board. He assured us that Goldstein and his crew were going to be removed, which they were. 82 new board members were put onto community board 9 versus about an average of 3 for every other community board. So it was basically a takeover. However, when these new board members got on board, they continued the same behavior as Goldstein had for the 35 years. They refused to let us speak. They refused to put us on the agenda. And as a result, we wind up having to protest. We wind up having to get arrested. We wind up having to do all kinds of things, including filing lawsuits, because at that time, it was the intention to pass a major rezoning in our community without community input. So of course, I was very highly upset over the fact that after we fought so hard to at least get a public comment period session, and at least allow the public, this is a community board, we are the community, to hear our voices, because otherwise how could you represent it if you don't know what we're thinking or what our experiences are or what our position is? I was very upset when Jackoff sat there and had a safety committee meeting in which he paraded around a potential candidate as a political platform. He then had a sellout, and then the police department was paraded in front of us. He refused to let us speak. He refused to let us ask any questions. He muted us when we did ask questions that he did not like or the position he did not want to hear. After all this time, this has to stop. We've been doing this for 6 years now. We've been fighting this board to be heard, and we will be heard. I don't care what you do. You want to keep this platform because the platform is convenient, because then you could just mute when you want. Trust me, this is not how it's going to be. We plan on filing a lawsuit against CB9, and we are going to file a lawsuit because we're not going to sit there and tolerate the way in which your chairs are performing themselves at our community board. We should be allowed to speak. We should be allowed to ask questions. We should be allowed to be on the agenda if we have issues. The safety committee is not Yakov's private committee where only the people that he chooses and his perspective is the only perspective that should be presented. This is a predominantly Black community, and yet we still don't have a voice in this community board, even though we're being headed by a Black chairperson. This has to stop. It has to stop, and we plan on stopping it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd.
Yes. Next, I think we have Ms. Ali. I'm sorry if I missed. Is it Mahala?
No worries.
Mahalovich?
Yes.
It's just a hard last name. You're good.
I apologize.
No worries. And I think Ezra also commented that he wanted to speak. We both know each other, so we're here on for the same reasoning. First,
do you want to speak together, or do you want to have a separate?
Ezra, if you want to unmute yourself, we could kind of go back and forth. Khalid, thank you. You answered all of my emails, so I just want to say I appreciate that. You're very helpful. And I know that this is not totally the appropriate forum because this is not Parks and Recs, but I heard that Parks and Recs will be up at the end of June. So I just wanted to make sure that if there's any possibility for help for us, that maybe you guys could pass it along or see if we could get any assistance. But basically, I understand that I just moved to this community about 2 months ago and just purchased a place and was looking for kind of the closest dog park, saw that there really isn't any in walking distance. So I understand that in Wingate Park, we were given a small southeast patch to allow our dogs to be off leash. So that area has been like allotted to us. And so it's not technically a dog park, so it didn't actually close down during COVID, but it is an area that we can have our dogs run free, but it's directly along the street line. So there's a huge possibility for the dogs to run out. So the only really request that we have, if possible, is even to do a temporary fence. It's fenced in on 3 sides. There's just one open fence area. And we would just want to see if it's at all possible to even have a temporary wooden fence go up so we could safely have our dogs run there without the worry of them running into the street or into the park where, they shouldn't be off leash. So that's kind of our general request, and see if it's at all possible. Ezra, if you have anything to add, or Alana, I think Alana's here as well.
Oh, I think he's.
Yeah, I think Ezra just wrote into the chat. Yes. Yep. We have a kind of a group of about 25 owners that tend to go every morning to this area. So it would be something that would benefit a good, at least a good portion of the community. That's our request.
Okay. All right. No, thank you for the comments. So Ezra, I think, did you want to speak as well, or are you good with, you made your comments in the chat?
I think he deferred to Ally.
Oh, okay. All right then.
I have
Okay, Elizabeth,
Alejandra
thank you.
next, and after Alejandra, I have, I believe, Caitlin from Red Cross really quickly.
That's fine. Thank you.
Alejandra, go ahead.
I briefly wanted to speak about the conduct of the police over the last few weeks during these protests. I've been actively engaged over the last few weeks in the Black Lives Matter protests. And I was I was protesting along with a few hundred other folks moving down Flatbush when I was nearly run over by a police cruiser. This was the same march that then was in that viral video of the police cruiser pushing the protesters back. At that same protest, when we were at the corner of Bedford and Church Avenue, we were charged at by the police while we were peacefully marching. My partner was pushed back, and she hit her head on the ground, and I got pushed back with a baton. And then about 2 weeks ago, right at towards the tail end of the curfew, I live right on Nostrand across from the Associated. On one given night, there was the police kettled hundreds of protesters on Nostrand right next to the community board office. And they ended up arresting nurses who were walking home from Kings County during shift change, because it happened around 11:15, 11:20, that got caught up in the kettling. And they arrested over 50 folks, and I could see it all from my window. The behavior of the NYPD has been absolutely disgusting and out of control. They have met peaceful protests with violent tactics. They have engaged with riot police, beating protesters with batons. Our own state senator and assemblywoman, State Senator Zelma Myrie and Assemblywoman Diana Richardson, were both pepper sprayed at Barclays. State Senator Zelma Myrie was arrested, and he was only let go because they found out he was a state senator. He likely would have been taken to the Tombs had he not been a state senator. So, you know, the conduct of the NYPD has just been out of control. There has been no accountability, and the internal investigation into the police nearly running over dozens of protesters resulted in no disciplinary actions. They clearly cannot police their own selves, and they cannot hold themselves accountable. And so I just want to make sure the community board is aware of what's been going on, because not everybody can participate in the protests. But you know, we really need to have a meaningful conversation about what the police presence in our community looks like, and how we can work with or push for systemic changes here in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Alejandra. Appreciate it.
All right. I see Caitlin McNary.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to make a brief announcement. I'm a new volunteer with the American Red Cross, and I wanted to make people within the community aware of a service that the Red Cross is currently providing for individuals and families who have lost family members to death as a result of COVID-19. There's a small announcement that I'll drop into the chat for everyone to sort of look over themselves. But it's basically allowing for linking those individuals or families with crisis counselors to provide emotional or spiritual support, and as well as the potential for targeted short-term case management to assist navigating through the process that people might face as a result of the death. So again, there's also legal resources that can be made available, and I will put that in the chat for everyone to see. Right now, the service is going to be in place for as long as it will benefit individuals or through the month of September. So again, thanks for letting me speak, and I'll drop that info in the chat.
Thank you very much.
Very quickly
All right.
here, I have a request to speak from board member Melissa Severe.
All right, Member Severe may speak, and we're going to conclude on Member Severe.
Hey, hi. I just wanted to piggyback on everything that Alejandra was saying as far as what's been going on with the protests, and just a comment on, when we do in the next cycle, give our advisory opinion on what's supposed to be budgeted for in our community. I hope that we could take into consideration everything that's been happening and slowly but surely divest away from the policing that's going on in this community. Just a comment on it. I know that we're still like in the process of everything, but it's just something to think about for when we're doing our advisory opinion on the budget.
Thank you, Melissa. Noted.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, this is Stuart Dahlberg. I'd like to make a comment about this protest.
Stuart, I apologize, but we've really kind of extended the list a few times. We're going to have to move on in the agenda.
Sure, okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate your cooperation.
Sure.
Okay, so that concludes the public comment period. I want to thank everyone who's spoken. We are now going to move on to the acknowledgements. Mia, I can't see it on the list. Can you identify if we have any representatives or elected officials who have joined us
Yes,
this evening?
we have two representatives. I believe we have Arna from the Majority Leader's office, as well as Karen from the DA's office. Arna, I'll be unmuting you. Are you ready?
Yeah, and if I can ask, and I apologize, but for all the representatives, if you're representing elected, if we could please keep the comments down to about a minute or so. We do have a number of items we have to take care of in the agenda, but we definitely want you to recognize that you're here with us this evening, so please share your information, especially how to contact you over the summer while we're on hiatus.
Got it. Arna, I'm going to unmute you now. Go, Arna. Oh, I think you remuted yourself.
Hello?
We hear you. Go ahead, Arna.
Okay. So just wanted to mention yesterday was election day, and a lot of people were calling our office that absentee ballots came literally yesterday. So if that happened to you, know anybody, please let your council member know so we can collect that data and send it off to the mayor's office and the Board of Election. More importantly, I'd like to acknowledge the comment a while ago about the fireworks. The mayor's office, we've been collaborating with them. They're trying to think of different ways on handling it. There was a press release, I believe they're bringing in the FDNY, and some talking about some CBOs, but in particular, I just want to share that I myself had a very successful experience in which we decided to make a block meeting. We have a block association. We made a meeting, it was mostly the adults, and at the end of the meeting, some of the youth came by and said, well, hey, what's going on? Why weren't we invited? We said, come on in, let's talk. And one of the people explained, we're not happy how this is going on like all night. Maybe you guys, we don't mind, if you want to enjoy, have your fun, just do it till 12, do it till 11. And they actually were very receptive. Can I tell you that this block, President Utica and Rochester, has been quiet relatively for the last 2 nights. So what I'm saying is that we have block associations. It would be really beneficial to send out PSAs to maybe activate your block association, get together with adults and youth, let them know, and sit down and have conversations. The impact on the elderly, impact on little children and even pets, which triggers off, the whole family really. So it was successful. It's not the whole solution, but I just want to share that it is something at hand that we can all do in our communities and our blocks. So I really encourage everybody to try to reach out to your neighbors and friends and try it, because we did it and it really worked. Is that a minute?
Thank you.
I have one more quick announcement. Union Street Block Associate, Union Street has an amazing free garden towards Rochester. It's open 4 to 7, free herbs and vegetables. It's fabulous, so take advantage. And that's it. Wishing everyone a great summer. Thank you.
Thank
On
you,
behalf
Sue.
of Majority Leader Cumbo. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. I'm moving on to Karen from the DA's office. Karen, I'm going to unmute you now. Karen.
Hi, I bring you greetings from the District Attorney's Office. My name is Karen Chambers, and I'm your community liaison for the office. If you have any issues or concerns, the DA is very, very interested to hear what you have to say, because he wants them to help the community. So I'll give you my cell phone number. My cell phone number is 347-971-0241. Please, I'm asking you guys to call me. I'm here for you. The office is working remotely, but we are still helping the community. So reach out to me, and have a good summer, everyone. Thank you. Hello?
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Have a good evening.
Okay, that concludes our public session. I want to thank everyone for the comments. So we are now going to move on to the business session. I would ask First Vice Chairman Warren Burke, please call the roll.
Give me
Welcome. Okay, calling the roll. Nicholas Almanor,
very quickly, Warren, I hate to interrupt you. All board members, please take a moment to listen for your name. And Warren, give them a moment to unmute themselves. It's about 64 people in here right now, so it's a bit hard scrolling through. And we have numbers that have not been identified. So just give everyone a moment to respond to their name.
of course.
Thank you.
Nicholas Almanor. I saw him.
Present.
Thank you. Stuart Dahlberg. Stuart Dahlberg.
And just as a reminder, if you are on the phone, you can unmute yourself by pressing *6. *6 to unmute yourself, and *6 to
Hello?
unmute yourself back.
This is Stuart Dahlberg. Yes, present.
Thank you, Stewie. Fred Baptiste.
Present.
Virginia Bechtold. Virginia Bechtold. And I'm going to go over the people who have not answered at the end of calling the initial roll. Rabbi Yaakov Bierman.
Present, thank you.
Warren Burke here. Augustine Blackwell.
*6 to unmute.
I saw here in the.
Yeah, she's here yeah, she's here. Hold on. Miss Blackwell?
Okay, we'll return to her.
She's here. Go ahead. Miss Blackwell, you're unmuted. She may be having technical difficulties. Sorry about that, Warren.
Okay. I'll go back at the end, and if not, we can always give her a call to confirm. Erin Brown.
Present. I'm here.
Thank you. Alejandra Carabello,
Here.
Suki Chung,
Here.
thank you. Michelle DeRosier Caldwell,
Present.
thank you. Virulin Dozier, Virulin Dozier, Rosemary Evering, Rosemary Evering, Tesset Hacker Vieira,
Here.
thank you. Bishop Zelta Hamilton Gonzalez,
Here.
thank you. Shlomo Hecht,
Here, yes.
thank you. Wayne King, Primo Lasana,
Present.
thank you. Mana Licote,
Present.
thank you. Francesca Leopold,
Present.
Nolan Levinson,
Present.
Melanie Lewis, Michael Labard, Mateus Limberger,
Present.
Menachem Margolin,
Present.
Robert Mitchell, I believe
I'm here.
he's here.
I'm here.
Thank you. Carmen Martinez,
Here.
Vivia Morgan,
I'm here.
thank you. Patricia Moses,
Here.
Beverly Newsom,
Here.
thank you. Yankee Pearson,
I'm here. Present.
thank you. Real Peerbooms,
I'm here. Present.
Amy Pinkerton,
Present.
thank you. Unella Roan Perry,
Present.
thank you. Dexter Roberts,
Present.
thank you. Mary Rollerson Blackett,
Here.
thank you. Desma Ross, Melissa Severe,
Present.
Rashida Sadiq,
Here.
thank you. Rabbi Sperlin,
Here.
thank you. Debbie Timothy,
Yeah.
thank you. Lorraine Watson Lorde, Evelyn Williams,
Here.
thank you. And Lorianne Wuselli,
Excused.
I just received a note that Michael Labard will be here later. He's on a business call. May I go through the names who didn't answer?
Please do.
Okay, Virginia Bechtold. Virginia Bechtold. Augustine Blackwell. You know, Khalid, could you give her a call?
She was on. She did
Yeah,
respond.
she actually was in the chat. She just, and we just had Wayne King enter the room as well. Miss Blackwell is here and she's unmuted. Miss Blackwell?
Okay. I'm gonna put her as a temporary here until we can confirm it. Violin Dozier. Dozier. Thank you. It takes me a little while. I'm a little dyslexic. Thank you. Rosemary Evering. Rosemary Evering. Wayne King.
Wayne King, present.
Thank you. Melanie Lewis. Melanie Lewis. Michael Labard, we just heard about. Desma Ross. Desma Ross.
She is here. Give me a moment. Let me see. Miss Ross, I believe she may be on her phone. *6 to unmute yourself. I'm gonna hold on. Let me scroll in. Miss Desma?
Yes. Hello.
Thank you, Desma.
Okay.
Lorianne Watson Laude. Lorianne Watson Laude. And Lorianne Woosley. Excuse. Okay.
Present. Lorianne Wolseley, present.
Hi,
Yes.
Lorianne.
Verlene Dozier, could you call her again? I think she's trying to get in.
Okay, Ms. Dozier.
Verlene Dozier.
Verlin Dozier.
Verlene Dozier, yeah.
I have her marked yes.
Okay, good.
Tessa.
And
Okay.
Virginia, Warren Virginia is there also.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me find her.
And Miss Blackwell, she's been writing in the chat to indicate that she's here, but she's having difficulties communicating with us by the phone.
Okay, everybody, for the purpose of quorum, we have 38 members present. So we have quorum, and I have not counted the people who have not answered. So the purpose is to get quorum, and that's way above. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, Warren, which ones did you not confirm?
Augustine Blackwell, Virginia Bechtold.
Okay. No, we need to confirm the names because that's going to affect the voting. Because voting is going to be affected by the majority. The majority has to say it's not a quorum, it's by the majority of those present.
Currently unmuted. Miss Blackwell?
You know, I have a suggestion. If the people who, Virginia
Yes.
Blackwell is here, thank you.
Yes.
Hello.
Can you
Hi,
hear Miss
Augustine.
Blackwell? I can hear you now. Thank you, Miss Blackwell.
Okay.
I'm having audio problems. I don't know what's going on here.
Okay, we just need to confirm that you were present. Thank you.
And Virginia Bechtold, Rosemary Evering, Melanie Lewis, Michael Labard, and Lorianne Watson Laude. I suggest that if you're having technical difficulties, to confirm that you're here in the chat, and then I believe we can count that as present, correct, Fred?
Right, if they can at least respond in the chat, or if they can contact one of the district office members.
But I'll
We need to
go through
confirm
the
that they're-
portraits also. And if I see them on the portrait, can I count them as here?
Let's not. I need them to affirmatively respond.
Okay.
They're here.
Okay. So before the voting, we'll do the numbers again.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So we currently have, what was the count? 39?
39, figure 40 now. Virginia Bechtel just
Yeah, here.
confirmed.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Virginia.
Okay.
I'll
Thank you
give
very
you the
much.
number
40
before we vote, okay?
Okay. And before we vote, let's just make sure we confirm if there's any members who did not respond before. All right. Thank you once again. So now we're on to item B in the agenda, committee reports. I would ask for the chairs, in the interest of time, if we hold off on the committee reports unless your committee has something urgent or there's a deadline or some significant matter that we should share with the board right now. So I will open the floor for any committee chairs. If you have any reports, please keep them brief as well.
Yaakov Beerman, Public Safety. I just want to briefly, 30 seconds, say that we had 2 meetings in the last 2 months. The first meeting we had over 800 views on YouTube. We sent the meeting out to the entire community. We tweeted about it. We publicized it in a local news website. The second meeting, we had about 200 views on YouTube and 50 people on the Zoom. We did our best to include everybody. I don't want to, I put in the chat earlier rules and procedures, the rules of conduct of this board. It is true that a member of the community, I felt on 2 occasions, we're not keeping the rules of conduct of this board, and I did mute that member of the community. I also put in the chat decision of a courts with regard to this board, what committees are required to do with regard to public comments period, and you're welcome to read that. Just want to say that I'm proud of our committee, what we've done this year. I'm proud of our last 2 meetings and how we managed to include a large segment of the community that were probably not included in the past. And I look forward to working with the board in any capacity going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Rabbi Berman.
Any
other committee chairs?
Yes, well, good evening, everybody. How are you? I just
Yes,
wanted to say that as of April, the ULUP process continues to be suspended due to the emergency executive order number 115 by the mayor's office. Also, the suspension of section 37-78B of the zoning resolution for compliance reporting. So that has been suspended since really April. However, we did hold our mandatory meetings that we are supposed to have 5, and we did hold them according to the bylaws. That's it.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you very much, Ms. Moses.
Any other chairs? Alejandra, are you interested in making a few comments?
So one of the things we discussed at our last housing committee meeting is that the housing courts have reopened and evictions over non-payment proceedings may commence, I believe, as of the 20th or the 22nd. I can't remember the exact date. But essentially, one of the issues that creates, even though there's a eviction moratorium until August, what's going to happen is that the eviction moratorium is only for people who can make a showing that they are behind on rent because of COVID or unemployment. So a tenant could still get a notice for an eviction for non-payment of rent, and they still have to go to housing court. Some arrangements can be made, if health concerns are an issue. But for the most part, they still have to make a showing as to why they're behind on rent. And the moratorium only applies if it's directly related to COVID or unemployment. Right now, the moratorium is set to expire in August. At the same time, the CARES Act funding, which adds $600 a week to unemployment benefits, expires at the end of July. This could create a dual crisis where folks are going to lose a substantial amount of their income at the same time that the eviction moratorium expires. And so we could be facing an entire tidal wave of evictions in the coming months. I've asked the chair for the housing committee to meet over the summer. I'm currently trying to organize a forum to inform people of their rights or inform tenants of their rights. Our zip code here in the district is 11225, which qualifies for universal access funding. What that means is that if you meet the income requirements and you are in eviction proceedings in Kings County Housing Court, you are entitled to a lawyer if you live in the zip code 11225. Again, if you live in 11225 and you are in eviction proceedings, you may qualify for an attorney based on your income, and you have a right to a housing attorney. And so I'm going to try and coordinate that and continue to have housing committee meetings throughout the summer because I believe this is going to be a crisis, and I'm extremely concerned as to how this is going to affect our community over the coming months. Thank you.
May I speak now, please?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon. Francesca Leopold, Chair for Health and Social Services. I just want to inform everyone that Kings County is open to the public. Come mid-July, we are looking to have a forum because of the pain and anguish that the community has suffered during COVID. We have a panel discussion on recovery after COVID. We'll also have medical professionals on hand who would answer any questions that people in the community have. And also I'll be getting back to the community. We'll send out via our media for CB9 as to the day that I would like the board members to come out to help. I'm looking to get at least about 20,000 masks that we could give out in the community. Our members, our community people, the residents, they're suffering. We have people in the community, they're walking around with a mask which they have been wearing for a week or 2 weeks. Some people are just making money. They're selling one mask for $5, and I mean, it's bad. So I'm looking to a day that we could go out there to give out masks in the community. So when I have everything together, then I'll pass out the information. And I think it's very important that we have this forum where people could come out, and we have people who've lost 3 members of the family, 4 members of the family. People have lost their jobs, and some people are not working, and they're concerned about the healthcare and a lot of different things. So we'll have resources as to where people could go out, where they can get free healthcare. They'll be able to talk and, just let out some stress, let out some frustration. So I will send out the information mid-July as to when all this will be happening. Thank you. Have a good evening and a good summer.
Thank you very much. Carmen Martinez, are you there?
Yes, hello, you hear me?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Yes, I'll give a report for the Transportation Committee. I want to first thank Warren Burke for having chaired the last meeting, for his assistance and his last minute response. I just want to report that we were able to present all of our standing DOT issues to our DOT liaison. She provided us with feedback. There are some discrepancies in the feedback that she provided because there was some cases that we have referred quite a while ago that she indicated they have no records of. But I will be able to do those follow-ups during the summer and present an update to the board members and the committee members as to the status of those cases. We did have some community residents present their suggestions for Open Street. they were not well received because there was no consultation done with the leaders from the block associations before those streets were presented or suggested as open street. So we're hoping to be able to have further conversation with those community residents so that we can all come to a consensus with regards to open street in Crown Heights and Plegna, should the need still be necessary, being that we are moving forward with different phases in opening the city. So that might not even be the case shortly. So I just wanted to give that report, and again to thank Warren for stepping up and chairing that committee on last minute. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tom. And also, do we have Debbie Timothy for Economic Development?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. So we had our economic development meeting on June 18th, which was last week. And we invited Mr. Deshaun Mars from the New York City Small Business Services to come and speak on the services that they are offering to small businesses in the community. And he did join us, which we are grateful for, and provided us with a wealth of information that they offering to small businesses. So he also gave us information where the businesses can reach out to them, which I included in my minutes. I hope that you guys got a copy of my minutes because it's all in there. So I will be reaching out to him during the summer to find out what else can be done, and try to reach out to as many businesses as I can myself personally. And I'm sure that some of the members on the committee as well will, you know, do their part as well. And that's it for me for the Economic Development Committee.
Thank you very much.
I believe
yes.
we
I'm
have,
sorry?
I believe Matthias.
Here.
Yeah, our youth chair should be there as well. Oh, I'm sorry. I just cut somebody off.
Where did they go?
Amy's here. Since I'm the only committee that didn't speak, I think, I just want to say a couple of things. We did have a June meeting on June 4th. It was lightly attended, but my to-do was to submit again my proposal for a community forum to the board and the executive committee with the hopes that this would be an ongoing project or a process that we will go through every calendar year, because it's regardless of the committee who's involved or committees who are involved, because it's a good idea as a public-facing engagement. And then I just want to, for Yakov, I just think it's terrific that you got such engagement from the community through advertising on YouTube and in your local paper. I think that's a best practice that perhaps maybe you could inform the rest of the board, like maybe, you know, some good steps to do, because your turnout for your meeting was terrific. And I think that we could all benefit from knowing a little bit more. And that's it for the the Environmental Committee.
Thank you very much, Amy. Yeah, Matthias, yeah, youth services. Do you have anything for youth services?
So yeah, so we drafted a letter to our local electives asking for support for initiatives in lieu of the canceled summer youth employment program. So we sent that out to people. During that time, some initiatives have come forward to replace that program, and some money has been made available. So we'd be kind of focusing on that and seeing if we could kind of, you know, put some pressure on some folks and ask for support. So we did that, and we shared some resources on our Instagram page. If people are not on our Instagram page, it's Youth Services CB9. Come join us. That's how we hope to connect with local youth and organizations. So that's Youth Services CB9. We're trying to get that going. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Did we get all the committees? Were there any other committee chairs on? I hope I didn't miss anybody.
No, I think we got everyone.
Hi, this is Vivia.
Oh,
I
Sorry,
knew I was going to do
Vivia.
that. Very, my apologies.
How are you? Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to say to Ali, she spoke about the dog park in Wingate. The last meeting prior COVID, we were planning to have a discussion around the area that she spoke about. There's a small area, and we wanted to try to get it funded and gated or fenced off for the dogs, because sometimes the owners will bring the dog and take the leash off, but there's a separate little area that they could unleash the dog and just you know, let the dog have their time there. So we are actually, I would like for her to contact me, send me an email so we could set up a meeting. She said, I believe she said that there was 25 people that was interested in having that area. So we could all set up a meeting. She could send me an email and we could move forward on that. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much. Enjoy the summer.
Thank you very much, Vivian.
Thank you, Vivian.
And I want to thank all of the chairs and all of the committees for all the hard work you've done throughout this entire year. Definitely, we've had some challenges with towards the last part, with especially with teleconferencing and getting used to the new environment. But I think you've all been fantastic, and everybody's really come together. And I just applaud you for your service and your dedication. Just one housekeeping note before we move on in the agenda. I just wanted to make sure that this is said. We appreciate the energy, and I'm glad that we have the opportunity to communicate. But we also have to understand, the same way if we were live, all the cross conversations also are distracting as well, especially if we're trying to identify people, trying to identify questions, or if we're trying to see if there's any issues or challenges that we have to do. So I would ask if we can please minimize the chat a little bit more in terms of, if there's a direct question we need to ask, okay, fine, but let's try and keep it to a minimum so that way we can make sure we're keeping the distractions out, because we have a couple of pieces here that are going to be critical now, especially with regards to the board. Thank you very much in advance for that. At this time, I would like to ask our treasurer, Ms. Debbie Timothy, if you could be able to give us the treasurer's report.
Hi again. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So everyone should have received a copy of my detailed report, spending report for CB9. Everything is documented here in terms of spending by personal, which is payroll, other than personal spending, which is OTPS acronym. So it gives you a detail on all those coded numbers and what the money is spent on. And then you have rent that we have to pay because we have to live somewhere to serve the community. So everything is documented, and it tells you pretty much what was spent and what is left over. In terms of the list that you received from me at the last meeting in May, he's still working out the details of that, because of course the boards are not going to get an opportunity to spend all that money. So a letter was done, and it should have gone to the mayor or the council, signed on by all the community boards in Brooklyn to request additional time to spend that money. So she can more than likely elaborate more on where that is. And that's all I have. On the back of the sheet, or the second page, you should have received 2 pages. I also provided information in terms of the monthly spending. So you should see those numbers. There's 2019 and there's 2020. So it gives you a comparison. And that's all I have for the treasurer's report. Have a happy summer, and I hope to see you all back in September, ready to hit the road running in community board.
Very quickly, thank you, Debbie. Just to piggyback on your statement, the Brooklyn boards decided to put together one letter and all sign on just because the majority of the boards will not get to spend their council funding. Unlike CB9, the other boards don't have the luxury of having their staff in close proximity to the office. We have also found ourselves dealing with late lead times, manufacturer issues, and not being able to receive orders by the close of fiscal. So we've had to decline on some of our prospective purchases just because they would not make it in before close of fiscal. So the correspondence sent to City Council essentially just asked for a temporary extension so that the boards can make the most, the use of these fundings, especially heading into a budget cut for fiscal year 21. If anybody would like a copy of the correspondence, I can definitely send it out to you as well. But thank you very much, Debbie.
And I would like to thank the treasurer and the assistant district manager as well for all the work you've done throughout the year in terms of monitoring the finances and making sure we're transparent and we're doing what we're supposed to do by the letter of the law, following all the policies and procedures that are prescribed for us. Thank you again for all the work you've done. Okay, so with that, we're going to move on into the chairman's report. I definitely have a number of things in terms of I want to share with you. I'll try and make it as quick as possible. First of all, I think the most obvious, and I want to again welcome all the new members who are here. So, we have Berlene Dozier, we have Suki Chong, we have Rio Piragooms, who is back with us. We have Ms. Melanie Lewis, we have Melissa Severe, we have Michelle DeRosier, we have Primo Lasana, we have Linda Watson-Lord, we have Dexter Roberts, we have Wayne King, we have Aaron Brown, Mr. Nicholas Almanor, and Mena Lagute. And I apologize if I butchered anybody's name.
It's okay. It's Maina.
Maina, okay. I will.
Hi, Fred.
How's everyone doing? So we have some fantastic new energy on this board, which is always great. And I hope that you're finding you're getting used to it. There's a lot of things to be done, a lot of work to be done. We appreciate your energy, your passion, you taking that step in terms of volunteering to be on the board. I want to thank all of our grizzled veterans who've stuck it out, for those who've been reappointed, for those who've been there, who've come to the committee meetings. The board cannot function without your dedication and you just coming back. So I want to thank all the board members for that. So with regards to other things going on in the office, I'm sorry, 1 second. Just that note right here. Right, so we've got a lot of things in terms of, on the one hand, we're slowing down and we're closing out the year, but we've got a lot of things going on. So with regards to, I know definitely been a major topic in terms of police accountability and reform. We've heard a number of comments about that. It is definitely going to be a conversation that we are having as a board, and in terms of also bringing in NYPD and other relevant parties as well. One thing that I did do is a few weeks ago, as part of an ask by the borough president, we did present a letter to the mayor with a recommendation regarding police chiefs. So when the precinct commanders are appointed, the recommendation is that the community should have an opportunity to meet them, to interview them as well, and just be able to speak with them and and have input in terms of whether they're the right fit for the community. This is just a piece, one step among many steps that are going to need to be taken with regards to addressing this issue. So again, I definitely understand everything that's going on, and something needs to be done, and the time is now. And CB9, we will be engaged in those conversations. We will bring the people in, and we're going to have hard conversations at times as well, but we're going to have them. Additionally, I think one of the things that has been significant in our life as a board for the last couple of months has been the coronavirus pandemic. Right now, we see that I'm happy to see how we've adapted to it. We're still able to have our community board meetings, and we're meeting. Social distancing has become a part of how we operate. And honestly, I think we need to really seriously consider incorporating social distancing as part of our means of operations as well. without hoping, hoping for the best, a vaccine is developed and coronavirus goes away. But you know what? We also have to make sure that we are responsible, because we know we have seniors, we have loved ones, we have youth, we have people with compromised immune systems who are susceptible, and this virus is a killer. So we want to make sure that as a board, we're doing the best that we can in terms of protecting all of our community, all of our residents, all of our board members. So we'll be having conversations about how can we integrate that into part of our operations. Some of it will have to be having conversations with elected officials in terms of some laws may have to be changed, including the open meetings law, which, technically prohibits us from doing a lot of these things. But perhaps now is the time to actually look at that in terms of how can we incorporate that. Because especially we can also see that sometimes being able to do this gives us some efficiencies as well. The CB9 budget, again, I think we've gone over that, and I want to thank the treasurer and our district office for all the work they've done with regards to that. I think we've heard from a number of our chairs in terms of, even though we don't officially meet over the summer, there is a lot of work that we still intend to do. So housing has already indicated their intention in terms of doing housing forums and trying to get resources together for the community. I know our Health and Social Services Committee, we are still very much committed to the census. So we have some activities and initiatives that we need to push. We cannot forget this. This is something that we agreed to before. We've been sidetracked by the pandemic, and it's shown in the numbers, which really kind of means that it's even more important that as a board, we are really out there and encouraging people, because this is going to be critical. It's already going to be a hard enough financial landscape, but if we are underrepresented, it gets even worse for us and really puts us in a position where we're not able to recover from anything else. I want to thank the district office staff, so to Mia Hilton and to Khalid Nixon, for all the work you've done throughout the year. I mean, that's the heart and soul of that office. They keep it going. They're the ones who pick up the phones. They're the ones who get the community complaints. They're the ones who do the follow-ups with the agencies. They're the ones who let us know, well, listen, I've gotten a number of phone calls about something, and they kind of give us a clue in terms of what priorities are, what needs are, especially immediate needs. Again, I want to thank all the committee chairs and all the committees for the work you've done through the year. I want to give a special thank you to the executive committee, for supporting me, dragging me through this year as your chair. I could not have done this without you. You are all phenomenal individuals, and you made an even better team. And I think if that spirit that's what's going to get us through as a board. And I believe that is all I have with regards to the chairman report. And I think we will now go into our next item, which is the officer elections. So I would ask Mia, could you unmute Nolan if you're still on the line?
Hey, yes, I'm still here.
Okay, perfect. All right, I just have one or two words I want to say, and then I'm going to turn the chair over to you. So with regards to our elections, this is obviously not the way we've normally done it, because this is obviously not a normal year. So I want to thank all the members of the board who met on June 17th. We had a special meeting in which we adopted amendments to the bylaws, which actually allowed us to have this virtual meeting, and also allows us to explore to explore the possibility of having electronic balloting, which is something we're going to be taking advantage of this evening. So in terms of looking at that, one of the things we needed to do is try and maintain the spirit of what our bylaws call for and what our requirements are. So we wanted to make sure that whatever we're doing electronically, we're able to identify who the voters are. We want to make sure that we have their name. We want to make sure that we're clearly able to identify their choices in terms of candidates. And we want to make sure that this is something that we could actually keep and be able to maintain in the district office per our requirements that we normally have. So I think that we've been able to do that. We will be using a SurveyMonkey, but understanding as well that there are going to be some technological limitations. We've also got a couple of other workarounds with regards to that as well. But at this point, what I will do is I will turn it over to the Nominations Committee Chair, Mr. Levinson. Please take it away.
Okay, thanks, Fred. Hey, everyone. So yeah, as the chair was mentioning here, the CB9 team has put together a SurveyMonkey that we will be sending out to everyone, so we can do this sort of in real time. I definitely ask that everyone bear with us while we kind of work through it. And for those that aren't going to be filling out the SurveyMonkey, I will be calling you to record your answers and making sure that those get recorded. Yeah, just as a reminder that, we have candidates listed for each of the positions, but you are also welcome to write in a candidate if you see fit to do so, if you'd like to do so. But otherwise, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Khalid is going to send out the SurveyMonkey to folks.
Already in my inbox.
Inbox too. Khalid, did you send it out to everybody, or Mia, or?
Yeah, it's gonna, Khalid is in the office, he's physically in the office right now.
Right.
So
Go ahead. Right. Hey, Nolan, I did just send it out. And if you look into individual responses, so far we have 3 responses so far. I just sent out the emails. Actually, Mina, if you can hear me, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yes.
Yeah, Mina. So your email, it bounced back. Do you have another email that you have, or I can try to see if I can shoot you the link to the survey itself, and you can submit it.
I sent you the second email.
I'm sorry?
I sent you the second email in the chat.
You sent me your second. Okay, all right. Hold on one second. Well, actually, I just got booted off, so my chat history has erased. Can you send that to me again privately, please?
Will do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Nolan, I don't know if you need any assistance making calls to the individuals that will need assistance with voting.
Yeah, I can get, if you want to split it up, maybe you and I can.
Sure. So, so we have a total of 7 members who've confirmed that they need assistance. So I can start from the bottom of that list. Give me 1 second. Let me pull that up too.
Also, for those who are on, if you're having technical difficulties, please let me and Khalid know, and we'll try to work it out.
Okay,
so to that point, to that point, is there anyone who's online who did not get that email? If you did not get an email with the SurveyMonkey, you can raise your hand to just indicate somehow that you haven't gotten it.
Hi, Aaron. I see your question. Aaron, please submit your vote right now. Click into the link and click submit, please. Thank you. Yes, you can.
Actually, before we do that, actually, if it's possible, because I know that usually the tradition has been on the board, and it might be helpful too for members who aren't as familiar with the candidates. We usually have the candidates give quick 2-minute speeches, if that's okay with you, Nolan.
Of course. Okay. My
great.
apologies.
So yeah, so we can start. I'll go down through each of the positions, and if folks want to give a few words, they're more than welcome to. I guess we'll start with chair, with Fred.
Oh, I did it to myself. Okay. All right. Okay, so very briefly, my name is Fred Baptiste. I've been on the board since 2012. And I just want to say it's been my honor and my privilege to serve as chair. And me running for chair is not so much for me, but it's because I think that I believe so much in terms of all the work we have done. You know, we came in a certain place, and I think that as a board, as an executive committee, there was a lot of work that was done between, you know, kind of empowering staff in the district office. We were able to give, you know, we were able to actually designate an assistant district manager. We've created a record to access officer role as well. We've also further defined in terms of creating tasks and standards for the district office staff. I think with regards to our meetings, one of the things we've tried to do is really create a culture of collaboration and communication in terms of trying to bring people in to have the conversations that need to be had. I think that, you know, we've done a lot of work. I think last year we kind of went ahead and we established some core principles by which we operate in terms of respect, transparency, empowerment, accountability, engagement, service delivery. And I think we've come through as a board on a lot of these things, but there's a lot more work ahead of us as well. So in terms of my vision for the board, I think there's still work to be done in terms of for our operating documents, for our bylaws. They've not been updated since 2008, notwithstanding the amendment we made recently. So there's going to be a period where we should look at how we're operating and see how we can operate better. Again, to the point I made earlier, I think we need to incorporate social distancing as part of how we operate. I think we need to continue to strengthen our technology portfolio and communications, which means, utilizing tools like Zoom. It also means things like utilizing social media, making sure our social media presence is much stronger. But at the same time, not necessarily abandoning those things in terms of understanding some people want the letter, some people do better with a phone call. So we're making sure that we incorporate all those in terms of the way we operate. I think we've come a long way in terms of the way we operate as a board, but I think for us to be even more effective, I think we need to provide training opportunities, both for the board members and the district office staff, so that we really understand what our roles are, and hopefully even, by understanding what the roles currently are, we can think ahead in terms of maybe there's other spaces we need to be in, and we can start moving into those spaces. And again, I think one of our primary functions is advocacy for the community. So I think that, we've had a couple of conversations which are really critical, really important, and I think that the community board is really one of the best places for us to continue to have those conversations, so that way, we really fulfill our role as a community board and advocates for our community. So with that, I respectfully submit my name as candidate for chairperson for CB9. And again, I thank everyone for your time and your thoughtful consideration.
I didn't get the email. Is there a problem?
Hi, Yanela. I just responded to you in the chat twice. Khalid is using the same email that you were provided tonight's meeting information. Is there an issue with your email, or should Nolan reach out to you?
My personal email, you have it.
Yes, that's the same one he's using.
Well, yes. I don't understand.
For those who haven't received it, I would also say maybe because it's coming from SurveyMonkey, check your spam just in case it bounced in there. So check there as well.
It's not in there.
Got it. So Nolan will reach out to you and record your vote over the phone.
No, send me an email, please.
Okay, hold on. I'll send you a link. Give me 1 second.
Yes, Khalid, see if you can do it in real time. And it's Unelper at AOL, correct?
Sorry, everyone, while we're working out the technical difficulties, and please keep letting us know, and thanks again for bearing with us. Obviously, this is a new process for everyone. I want to make sure that all the other candidates have a chance to speak. For first vice chair, we have Warren Burke. Do you want to say a few words?
Sure. Hello, everybody. I just want to welcome everybody. I think that there's a lot of excitement with the new members based on what I sent out in terms of my candidates questionnaire. I really view my role as a service role to assist the chair and to assist the committees. In my mind, the committees are the most important part of the community board, because everything should rise from the committees to the executive board and then back to the full board. The one area that in the short term, we just need to get the committees up and running, and that will be fully explained to everybody. We need to get a DM search completed and get a new DM. And the very important part is the census. The census is the basis for the monies that we receive. And at this point, the executive board has been working with the coalition, and our numbers are very low. So we're going to go forward and just increase that. Ongoing, I just think that we have to always function on transparency and process. We've made great strides this year, but we really have to just continue to make those strides and increase it whenever it comes up. I guess the real saying is we have to listen and learn. And that's really it. I had some questions from Michelle, and Michelle, what I'm going to do is I'll give you a call offline, but they were good questions. One was, how do you get the committees up and running, and can she participate? And the other dealt with how does the administrative part of the board intake community complaints and then act on them. So I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burke. So we have two candidates for second vice chair. We have Francisca Leopold and Robert Mitchell. It looks like Robert Mitchell maybe had to hop off, but Francisca, if you want to say a few words, you have a chance to do so now.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Francisca Leopold, running for second vice chair. First of all, I would like to welcome all our new members. I'm excited for the new year coming in to work together. We have a lot of work to do, but we didn't have enough hands on board, so I'm very happy with what I'm saying, all the excitement. For me, my passion, as I said in my bio, my passion is the community and the health being, the health care for our community, for the seniors. That's my passion, working hard for the seniors. I might be repeating the same thing over and over because it's my passion. I know there is so much to be done for them, and they are not getting adequate service that they should be getting. But one thing I want to say about the board and for the new people, it is so important that we work together, because if there is division, the work, the purpose that we have all, and I think that we all have the same goal, to service the community and to see that everything work out for the community. It's not going to be at 100%, but if we work together and we put our heads together, we will achieve the goal that we're endeavoring to achieve. I just hope that the new people who comes on board, that we'll be able to sit down, the time will come that we'll be able to see each other face to face, and we'll be able to sit down and hash out. We'll have our differences, but we'll disagree to agree and put it together and keep the ball rolling. For me, my passion, as I said, is for the community. I just want, when I walk around the community and the things that I see in the community, then the needs of our people in the community, it's really touching my heart. And that is what I'm really fighting for. I'm so happy. From the time I joined the board, I have been the chair for health and social services. We have been fighting for more funding for the senior centers so that they could get updated equipments and smart boards and the refrigerators and chairs and everything that will make their lives a little bit more comfortable at the senior centers. And I do think that in a community like Brooklyn, we don't have enough senior centers in our community. We do need more senior centers in our community, as well as community centers in the community, because we have a whole lot of seniors, they are just sitting home. Sometimes in the summer, you walk past on the street and you just see them sitting at the window, because the few senior centers we have, if they don't have Medicaid or Medicaid or some sort of insurance, they cannot utilize the place. Okay, because they will have to pay out of pocket. And I think it is something that we should endeavor to fix, and then to have a place where our seniors can go free of charge, have some fun, meet some friends, and then go back home in the evening. So I'm here to work with each and every one of you. If I'm re-elected as second vice chair, I'm open for suggestion. I would like people to join my committee so that we could work together and make our community better and move forward on. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Francisca. It sounds like
it's Khalid. Do you need help with submitting your vote? Okay.
So it sounds like Robert Mitchell had to step away, unfortunately. So I don't think, unless he comes back on, he won't be able to say anything. So we'll move on to secretary. We have two candidates. Stuart Ballberg and Alejandra Caraballo. So if Stuart is still on,
yes.
Would you like to say a few
Can you
words?
hear me?
Yes, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Am I? Yes. Okay, I'm Stuart Ballberg. I was appointed on this board in 1979. I've been on two committees that deliberated on the selection of district managers. The one where Enid Jordan Ford became the district manager, and this current attempt. I come from the old school. I'm not ashamed about it. I personally believe that unless God built this house, all the workers will have done it in vain. And what does all that mean in a practical sense? It means that at first glance we should harm not. We should, when we try to repair the community, we have to listen to the voices of the people with whom we identify, with whom we meet as we go through the community, and let their opinions guide us, because the greatness of this country is that the power comes from the ground up, that the people in government are public servants, not dictators, that we have a major problem as a board because we get all kinds of very fast, big sweeping edicts. For example, the attempt to shut down Eastern Parkway, attempts to get rid of altogether piecemeal of plainclothes policing, all kinds of very quick matters. And while they may be fine when they're done on a general basis, you have to consider the localities. And that's why I'm on this board, because I listen to the people in the community. And as far as my work as a secretary, I'm also the secretary in the precinct council over there. My record is that I've always kept complete and accurate minutes. I've had a difficulty as a secretary on this board in putting together timely minutes. I'm very sorry about it. I know that Khalid and the staff have covered by putting together material over there, which is excellent. But I'm going to try to work on getting the timely minutes out. But as far as what I think that my function on the board is to make sure that there's an honest voice, a voice for the little guy, a voice for honesty, a voice against corruption. And I pledge, as far as the function of the executive board there, is to continue with the good struggles, the struggle that we get a district manager without any kind of the influencing that's going around, an honest process, and other honest processes that will result in the right kind of action. And I thank all the members of the board for coming to the meetings, for attending to the meetings, and that's also my intent to try to be at all the meetings. I go to all the precinct council meetings, and I'm an on the grounds kind of a guy. God bless you. Thank you. Hello?
Thank you, Stuart. I think we're going to turn it over to Alejandra Carballo now to talk.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, Nolan. So a little bit about me. My name is Alejandra Caraballo. For the past year, I've been on the community board. I've served as the chair for the Housing Committee and the District Manager Search Committee. My prior experience serving on boards, I've previously served as the secretary for the LGBTQ Rights Committee of the New York City Bar Association. And I'm currently serving on a board of the Trans Latinx Network, which is a nonprofit that provides direct services to low-income folks. In my daytime job, I'm a civil rights attorney. I previously worked in direct legal services, and I hope to bring some of those experiences to the board. One of the things that I want to accomplish and do over the first year, if I'm given the opportunity to become secretary, is to establish a more streamlined and consistent process for minutes and information. We're hoping to have the new website out, and so hopefully board members can consistently access information about the board and have consistent information about what's going on. These past few months have been challenging. The next few months are going to continue to be challenging. I think the only way we're going to be able to get through this is as a community and working together. And I hope you would give me your vote for secretary for this upcoming year. And I thank you for your time.
Thanks, Alejandra. Okay, so moving on to treasurer, we have Debbie Timothy. Ms. Timothy, was there something you'd like to say?
Hi, hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
Okay, so my name is Debbie Timothy, and I have been on the board since 2016. I served on the Health and Social Services Committee as the vice chair for that committee. I was the chair of the Transportation Committee and presently the chair of the Economic Development Committee. In terms of, I presently serve as treasurer from last year, and was selected again this year to serve as treasurer. And I take the opportunity serious to do so because I want to see the board succeed moving forward. So, you know, it's a challenge for me and a new challenge, and I'm enjoying doing it at this time. In terms of what makes me the best candidate for the role, I've been working in government service for many years in various capacities. Borough President of Manhattan, doing capital budgeting, reviewing thousands of funding applications, and assisting with administering millions of dollars for parks, school, libraries, not-for-profit in the Borough of Manhattan. I served as records manager at the Office of the Borough President. I provided supervision for interns and staff. I'm very analytical. I'm great with computer software. And I'm very organized, and I have an eye for detail. I like to make sure that everything is in place where it should be, and so that there is no questions in terms of what's on that piece of paper. You can read it like a resume and see what's there. As you can see from the current funding report. In terms of the goals that was asked about, you know, when you get elected for whatever role you're applying for, I've done that. Last year, I've inquired about the policies that the board was using in terms of, you know, the finances, to get a sense as to what needs to be done and what can be done better. So there's transparency. So I provided ideas. I also provided information in terms of keeping up with what was being spent and what, you know, what was going where, by providing a spreadsheet to the board so that they can use on a monthly basis to show what was spent and, you know, where and how it was spent. I also spent time at the board office organizing all the invoices that were all over the place. So hopefully they're in place by now. And I also, you know, provided the board with my expectation as a treasurer. You know, I guess everybody works in a different way, but I'm very much organized and, you know, detailed. So that's my, you know, 2 cents on why I'm serving as treasurer and running again as treasurer.
Thank you, Ms. Timothy. So we're going to move on to the 2 members at large seats. I just want to, again, if you're having trouble getting access to the SurveyMonkey, please let myself or Khalid know. Does Evelyn Williams want to speak as one of the candidates for member at large? Ms. Williams, are you there?
Nolan, I'm gonna locate her and unmute her.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there
Can
she
you
is.
hear?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You can?
Yes, Ms. Williams, go ahead, please.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Evelyn Williams, and I am I would say, senior member of the community board. I have been on this community board since the mid-70s. I have I have served on almost all the committees, but my main area of serving on committees were housing. I was on the ULURP committee until I was actually attacked by community members that injured me, and I had to be in court for 2 years clearing my name, but I never left the board. I stayed. I was also on the youth committee. Years ago, I worked on the youth committee, and I'm still working. Unfortunately, I started on this committee as a government worker. I worked for government for 20 years. Got injured on my job, and I still stayed on the board. I do all the things. I run a play street in this community, Crown Heights, Prospect Lefferts Garden, for over 20 years, where every summer I would close the street that I live on. We used to go block to block until I think the mayor's office during Bluebird time said we would have to choose a special block. And because an officer was killed on my block because through rioting from young people, they allowed me to use Hawthorne Street between Rogers and Nostrand as a play street block. So every year for almost 15 years by myself while I was going through cancer treatment, I would run the play street where I would have at least 16 youth or 12 youths for the year working with the kids during the summer from July to August. That I had was to stop during 2005 because I started a new venue where I had to fight for this building that I'm living in, which is 265 Hawthorne Street. We fought for 12 years where I was able to get to have 69 families now own their apartment as a low-income HDFC co-op where they're paying $2,500. They have paid, not paying. They have paid $2,500 to own their apartment, and their share is below the 30% income bracket. I am actually disabled. I have been disabled on my job, and while I was doing all this, I came down with cancer, survived cancer 27 years. And last May, the cancer returned with a vengeance. Right now, I am on chemo, but I'm still a community worker. I will be until the day I leave this world. And Crown Heights is a place that I love. I love my community. I love the people that I work with. I love the community board. I was 71st Precinct Community Council President for almost 30 years, and I do all these things. I work with the officers. I work with the precinct. I used to do work in the board office, and I work the Board of Election. There's nowhere that I have not worked, but my main concern is the growth and prosperity of this community. There's a lot that has changed in the community. I have seen the changes. I have existed with the changes. And I'm so proud right now to say on this community board, especially with this section of people that is coming on right now, I have read and I've listened to your inputs and your emails, and it seems to me like we're on to a better start. I have to say, chairs have been good on the community board. There have been problems. Not everybody can handle the problem the same way, but Mr. Baptiste, right now I could say this is your first year off and we'll be on again, and I am very, very proud of what we're doing now, the communication that we're having, the camaraderie. We can talk, we're having civil, and even the people who had to at one time really protest that caused me to get injured, they are now working with us and we're working with them, and I look forward, if I am again elected, to stay focused, to work with everyone, because we always have to know that we disagree to agree, and this is how we strive. You cannot always be right, and sometimes out of evil cometh good. And right now, we're hoping that the community board will move forward on a better level, and that I will be able to be a part of that, given the opportunity by the voters to have me there. I can't go around as I used to, as I said before, but believe me, I stayed right here in my house, and I do so much work from the phone, and meaningly I come to the meeting, and there's never time that the community calls on Miss Williams that I'm not there. I work with everyone. I've worked with the Crown Heights Jewish Community Council for years, with the Precinct Council, and I've had a very good relationship with them. Still do respect that community, because that's a community that really helps people. We may, a lot of us don't know, but now that you guys are so focused with asking questions and making suggestions, I think it's going to be now more known that this community can rise above any trivial things that has been happening. And for that, I want to say, if you choose Ms. Williams as your member at large, it may not seem like a important position. My voice is right now not good because I lost some teeth because of chemo. So please, if you don't understand me when you see me in person, I will restate what I'm saying. And today I went for treatment. I was in treatment today taking chemo, but I decided that tonight is a night that I have to try to be here to speak to the people that are the new people. And I don't know you in person, but listening to the few people that speak tonight, that's all you need to get to know someone, because the way you start makes all the difference. And you start, you hit the ground running, and I'm hoping that I will be able to stay focused and stay with you as we go along working towards better progress for Crown Heights. And with that, I want to say thank you all for listening. Thank everybody, and the ones that I know, the ones I don't know. And I thank you in advance. If you vote for me, if you don't, which I hope you will, I will still be the same hard-working community worker that I've always been, because it doesn't matter what position you are on a board. If you're working for progress and you're working not for yourself, but for the benefit of the people that you serve, then you'll be happy wherever you are to do whatever you can. So with that, I want to say thanks, and I hope I get your vote so that I could show you that I could put my mouth where put my money where my mouth is. And the money I don't have right now, but my money is in labor, and I'm willing to show you that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Williams. We appreciate those words. And now we'll hear from Vivian Morgan. Ms. Morgan, do you have any words that you'd like to share with the group?
Thank you so much. I just want to say thank you to all the members and welcome to all the new members that we have on board. This year has been it's been difficult for a lot of us. A lot of us lost loved ones, and we are all trying to recover. And I just want to say condolences to anyone on this call that lost someone dear, friend, family, relatives. I just want to say, I'm not going to be long. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to be a part of Community Board 9. We've been working hard. We have a strong team, the executive team. We work well together. And I would like to continue the process. We have Fred, a new chair, and with his leadership and guidance, I really think we've been doing a great job. So on that note, I just want to say, I hope I get the opportunity to continue to do what I love. I'm trying to make our community safe and healthy and bring in good programs. So for the young and the old. And I just want to say thank you so much. I'm looking forward to a new year and I wish you well. And Miss Evelyn, Miss Williams, I missed you yesterday. I went to vote and you wasn't there. And I said to everyone, where's Reds?
Can I respond to that? I could not vote or work yesterday. This year, my doctor said I have worked for the polls since the early 70s. I have never missed a day working for the Board of Election. But no, because of the because of Ibrance that I'm taking, that has taken my white blood count down to below 0. The doctor said this year I will have to stay away from the polls. So unfortunately, I'm dying in my heart, but I cannot work, and I will not be able to work in November. But God's willing, I will be back. Because people are calling me, asking, what happened to you, Miss Williams? Where are you?
We
Why
love
aren't you at the
you.
poll?
We love
Thank
you.
Thank you. And so do I love you, Trivia. Thank you so much.
Okay, have a good evening.
You too, my darling.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for those speeches and for your service to the board. Once again, everyone who has indicated that they can do the SurveyMonkey should have received an email. Please let us know if you have not received that. We're also calling folks who don't have access to the SurveyMonkey. I think we're going to do some tallying. And we'll have to get back with you all. Please bear with us. I know it's late.
Yes.
But please just bear with us while we figure out how everyone's voted, and we'll report back.
I'll be moving the nomination committee to a breakout room so that they can tally amongst themselves, or if they need to speak amongst themselves without the background noise of our own conversations here. So bear with us, and then they will be readmitted once they've concluded.
Vivian, hello?
Ms. Hackett?
Vivian? I'm sorry. Nia?
Yes.
This is Bishop. I have not voted because I'm on the phone.
Yes.
Someone is supposed to
Nolan
call.
will be reaching out to you shortly. I'm going to move Nolan to the room so that he
No
can.
problem.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
No
this is Tessa. Could somebody call me because I'm on the phone too?
Yes, once I move Nolan to the breakout room, he'll be making calls to the election.
Yeah, give Nolan my number and tell Nolan to call me, okay?
I will. Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, Toya.
I did do the survey. I am not sure if it was done properly, so if it wasn't, you all should let me know, okay? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I think
Yeah, I did it, but I'm not sure if it was done properly. It was sent, so you could let me know if you get it.
Got it. Will do. Thank you.
Okay.
Please mute their phones. Please mute your phone.
Mia, if I could ask, please mute all the phones.
Okay, give me one moment. I have to. All right, Nolan. I'll be moving you guys over right now.
Hello?
Okay, so if everyone's still here, so what's going to happen now is Mia is going to create a breakout room where Khalid and the nominations committee are going to be there. So they'll be able to review all the data that's tallied for all the votes. So we would ask all board members, if you haven't voted already, please do so. And then they'll go, the system will be able to tally all of those electronic votes, and they will make the phone calls to ascertain the pleasure of those members who don't have access to the emails. And
Hello?
once they're done, they'll come back and they'll announce the results.
Hello?
Yes, Stuart?
Please have Khalid or Mr. Lorenzen call me by telephone because I don't have access right now to online.
Yeah. Nolan, you do have Stuart Balber, correct? With the call?
Yes, we will give him a call.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. If I can remind all members, please, if you're not speaking, please mute your microphone. All right, Mia, if you could mute all the microphones, please.
Yes, I was moving everyone over to the break room. Just give me 1 moment. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so while the elections are going right now, we're going to move on to the next item in the agenda, and there's a resolution for the board to consider. Yeah, Mia, are you able? Did you put the resolution in the chat?
Sure. Give me 1 moment.
Sure.
Excuse me, Fred, it's Warren. We had 42 men. And the quorum is 40, is, what is it, 22? But for voting, we need 22 yeses.
Hold on, how many members are there? How many members are currently here?
42.
It's 42?
42, which, 50% is 21 plus 1. So it's 22.
Cool. So to win office, the candidate has to get 22 votes.
Correct. And for the vote on the resolution, it's the same.
Right, I'm sorry. Okay, so the resolution should be in the chat right now. I'd ask for the members, if you haven't had a chance to review this. So basically, the resolution is very similar to a resolution we did earlier this year, where we actually approved a salary adjustment and office title change for Mia. So she would be designated as the assistant district manager, and also we adjusted her salary as well. So after some further review, one of the things that we knew was clear, and especially after monitoring his work and soliciting some additional input, we feel that it is appropriate at this time to adjust the salary for Khalid Nixon, who currently serves in our office as the community assistant. So at the meeting of the executive committee, we approved the following resolution for your consideration this evening. And just so that everyone has it, if you don't have it handy, so you can hear it, the resolution reads, whereas one of the functions of the community board is the establishment of a district office for the receipt and processing of service complaints, meeting with agency representatives in the district service cabinet, and other functions as mandated by the charter. Whereas professionalism and dedication is required for the effective and efficient operation of the CB9 district office. Whereas Mr. Khalid Nixon was hired by Community Board 9 as a community assistant in January 2017. Whereas Mr. Nixon has been instrumental in the proper operation and function of the district office. Whereas Mr. Nixon has provided conscientious quality service to the residents of the community. Whereas Mr. Nixon is a respected and highly regarded employee of Community Board 9. Whereas tasks and standards have been developed to better define the expectations of the community assistant title in the CB9 district office. Whereas there currently are sufficient funds in the personal services budget for salary adjustments for district office staff. Therefore, be it resolved that the members of the Community Board 9, authorize a salary increase to $40,000 per annum for Mr. Khalid Nixon. This increase should be retroactive to September 1st, 2019, and will be enacted pursuant to the satisfaction of all administrative requirements of the Office of the Brooklyn Borough President, the Office of Management and Budget, and the Department of Citywide Administrative Services, and any other relevant agencies, proposed and adopted by the Executive Committee on June 16th, and is now before this board for your consideration. Does anybody have any questions with regards to the resolution before us? Well, actually, I will entertain a motion for the board to adopt. Let's do that.
But Fred.
Yes.
How can we
Hold on,
do
before-
this when there are people in?
Before we discuss it, let's get a motion so that we can debate an actual motion. Okay,
I
so I'll
make a
recognize-
motion, I make a motion to accept the resolution and increase Khalid's salary.
I second.
I see a motion by Yakov Berman. I see a second by Ms. Evelyn Williams. Beverly, I believe you had a question?
Yeah, how can we discuss this when there are numbers of members in the breakout room discussing the ballots?
Right, so we will not vote on it until they return, but we did want to at least start the conversation. So if there are questions on the part of the board, we'll delay the actual vote until those members return.
But they'll
So in the
need
interest
an
of time,
explanation but they'll need an explanation as well.
And we can explain, I mean, right now we have better than, like 7/8 of the board. We can have some of the conversation. We will definitely include them and they'll have an opportunity to ask questions as well.
Okay, all right, cool, no problem. So the discussion is Khalid's getting a raise from what he has currently to what's the next salary?
40,000 is the proposed salary.
Okay, retroactively from September?
To September 1st of last year, correct.
Okay, why so far back?
Because we had approved the raise for the other office staff member going back to September 1st as well. And typically in the city government, we do, they do retroactive raises. It's going back as far as when the board's term started.
Okay, got it. All right, thank you.
Yeah, and also just as for some additional background, because there haven't been any raises or salary adjustments in a number of years, so we felt it was just to at least compensate them for this year while we make the adjustments.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Are there any of the board members with questions? Okay, seeing none. All right, we're going to hold the question until we get the other members back from the board. Let us go on. I'm sorry. My agenda here. Okay, so let's move on and to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business for the board to bring back to the table?
Mr. Chair, what about the liquor license?
We're going to do all the votes. So when we go to the voting section, we're going to do all those votes. So we'll vote for the liquor license, we'll vote for the resolution. And let me see, I think, well, is there any unfinished, before I move on to the next item, is there any unfinished business left? Okay, seeing none. New business, we'll entertain. Rabbi Berman, I think you had an item that you want to bring before the board?
Guys. Yeah, I just put my motion in the chat. I move that Community Board 9 write a letter to Mayor Bill de Blasio requesting that he instruct the police and give them the resources to enforce laws against illegal fireworks and put a stop to the nightly terror in our district. This is my motion. I put the wording of the motion in the chat. All of us have suffered from these fireworks. There are kids with disabilities who can't sleep at night. There are women in the community that don't leave their house because they're scared to walk on Eastern Parkway and Franklin because people are shooting fireworks out of apartment buildings into the streets. The police and the mayor have not been enforcing the fireworks laws. This is a danger to all of us. And I think that we want to send a message to the city that the laws are not meant to be broken. And the police need the resources to stop these fireworks because people are getting hurt and it's completely out of control.
All right, so we have a motion
I would like to
by
second
Berman.
that motion, Yakov, because we are having the same problem over here. We can't sleep at night. We can't even get out the building. They throw it at you, and they do it till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You cannot sleep, and they leave all the mess behind, the broken bottles, the drinking, the liquor bottles, and the cups, and everything. They just leave the place like really, really in a mess, and it's so frightening. So I would second this motion with you 10 times.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion by Rabbi Behrman with a second by Ms. Williams. Any other discussion? Any questions on the part of board members?
Yes,
Yes, I have some questions.
Okay, hold on. Okay, we're gonna have fun. Hold on 1 second. If you have a question, please raise your hand and we'll create a speakers list.
I believe that was Yanela, and then that was Rashida.
Yunella, Rashida.
And then
Hold on 1
Fran.
And Fran, and then Aaron Brown, and Melissa.
Okay, hold on 1 second. My apologies. So Yunella,
Yes.
Rashida.
Yes.
Who else did you have, Mia? I'm sorry, Mia, who else did you have? I know I heard Fran. Who else is there?
Rashida, Fran, and Aaron. Melissa, Alejandra, Michelle.
Melissa, welcome to the board. Melissa,
Okay.
is she there?
All right.
Hi, Ms.
Williams.
Okay.
Welcome to the board, Melissa. This is your co-op president, Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Ms. Williams.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, so I see Yunella, I see Rashida, Fran, Aaron, I see Melissa, I see Alejandra, I see Michelle. Mia, do you see anybody else? No, I will add my name. Just in case I have it. All right, so with that, we're going to close the list on those
We're
names.
only taking comments from board members, correct, at this time for the
Correct,
moment?
only from board members.
Got it, okay.
Okay. All right, so we'll begin. Yunella?
We're in business session, only board members.
I just want to say, as far as the fireworks are concerned, we had a fire in one of our apartments because the fireworks, we're having caught an air conditioned unit and blew it up. And a week and a half ago, I had a fire in one of our buildings over here. We had to have three fire trucks were here. The place was, you can't even imagine the smoke and the water damage that we have, all because of the fireworks. It hit so I just wanted to say, and I've been calling 311 and 911 at nights because, I mean, people are scared about the fact that, you know, when it goes off and it flares out, it could go anywhere. You have two strip malls on Utica Avenue, Rutland Road, and at nights, once the businesses close, there is a huge crowd over there that just keeps going until like 3 in the morning. I reported it to Channel 12 News as well. They came by, they did a little excerpt, but I mean, it still goes on. It still goes on. And this is, I have a lot of seniors in my building. A lot of people with pacemakers also have issues. And the anxiety is just causing more stress and medical issues. So this is very serious. And
Very serious.
yeah, people are now afraid that if it goes off, is it going to be my apartment next? So something needs to be done, and soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Yanela. All right, next on the list, we have Rashida.
Yes, thank you guys for, one thing I would just want to also point out that the police already have the funding they need. They just need to obviously do what they're, you know, they already have the funding. So the resolution that you put forth regarding, we said, instructed Mayor de Blasio to give them the resources they need. He also had a conference today saying that they're going to be targeting the suppliers. And for us as a community that covers a large part of Black and Brown youth in the neighborhood, I'm here and I'm also getting the fireworks. I understand I have a pet, so I know that the fireworks has definitely been extremely bad. I've been a resident of this neighborhood for over 30 years. But for us to put a resolution instructing the mayor to now put more, to direct the police, 911, which has a history of brutalizing our community, giving them more power to do that, that's putting a bad precedent for our community, especially if you say we represent the members of our community that are being detrimentally
impacted, that would be detrimentally impacted. There's other ways to do it. Arna, who was mentioned before, that her block association decided to come together. So we need to think about different ways of reimagining our dialogue with the police, our dialogue with the community, and not just go, let's put more funds into the hands of the police and have them come and police our young youth and individuals more. Thank you.
Thank you very much, appreciate it. All right, next on the list, I have Fran.
Yeah, I just want to say that many a times that the fireworks, I know a lot of the young people in our neighborhood, they are doing it, but some of them, I have proof that right outside my window, and they were right outside my window. They had about 20 bottles of alcohol drinking.
Yes.
And the next door to me, on both, the first floor and the second floor, the tenants, they have babies. Each one of them have 2 babies, and they were right outside our door. I couldn't hear the TV, I couldn't hear myself. I was afraid that it would come right through the through my window. My sister, she had issues with her eye, lost sight in one eye, and then the other eye is doing bad. So she's on heavy medication, and she was sitting on the stoop, just taking from fresh air. And then the guys came, and then they explode this stuff, and it ricocheted against the wall, and it hit her and burned her on her thigh. And when the doctor said to her that the medication that she's taking now, it has elevated her sugar, and then she should not get any scripts or anything. So now that is an issue. All they said to her was sorry. And then at the end of it all, when they finished creating the havoc outside our door, everybody got into their cars and they drove out. And none of them live in our community.
They don't live in the community. That's right.
Maybe they have one friend who live on the block, and they come out here to meet their friend, and they just create havoc in the community. So we have to come up with something, and then it has to stop. Because even it's not only in Brooklyn, you know, it's in Jersey. My daughter, I'm on the phone talking to my daughter, and she was like, "Is this happening over at you also?" I said, "Yes." And she's afraid because she said one of them escaped and got into her car, and she was afraid that he was going to blow up her car. So it's all over. So it's something that they have to do. The government, the city, they need to intervene and do something. So we have to take action.
And they don't live in the community.
Thank you very much, Fran. I think next on our list we have Erin.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'll be really brief. I don't think I could support this resolution, in large part because of how I've seen the police react to the fireworks in my part of the community. I live in the very southern part of Community Board 9, and 3 nights ago, we had one of the police Bell helicopters hovering low enough that we got rotor wash. I live on the ground floor facing the street, and I'm a journalist, so I'm often out and seeing what's going on. A helicopter has to be lower than 150 feet in order to get rotor wash on the street. And that helicopter was louder than any of the fireworks that were going off. I have seen in the past several weeks the way in which the police have decided to respond to minor infractions from people out past curfew, or once the curfew was lifted, just being on the street. And I don't think I can support asking for more funding for the NYPD to come into our neighborhood because what they do doesn't work and also costs a lot of money. Those Bell helicopters cost several $1,000s per hour to run, and that's what they use to figure out where people are shooting off shooting off fireworks. So I think that we should look for a more community-based approach for how we can deal with this. You might even be able to hear there's fireworks going up on my street right now. It's annoying. I face the street, I know, but I don't feel comfortable bringing more fund or asking for more funding for the police, which already have an enormous budget to handle this problem. Thank you.
So we'll be having dialogues on that. It will be where one person or 2 people decision will not count. So we have to really get together, as the gentleman says, and we have to talk about it. We have to meet. We got to talk about it. This is not a decision making right here tonight. This is just an introduction to something that we can do. And there's several things that we can do, but right now, we need something right away because this is getting very, very serious. Very
I would
serious.
like to,
I'm sorry.
I would like,
We need to maintain order. So there is a speakers list currently. So I have next on the list, Melissa.
Hi, thank you, Fred. I just wanted to echo what a lot of people were already saying, that, you know, the police are already very much well-funded and they have a lot of resources already. At this point, I question whether they just have the will to address the issue with the fireworks. I have cops on my street 24/7, and there are still fireworks littered all over the place. So what's happening? If they're right there and they see people doing the fireworks, I don't know if it's that they need additional funds to take care of it. It's that they need the will to take care of the issue. Clearly, this is like kind of a retaliation for the protests to me.
They're being retaliated against too, because right here on Mother's Day, they break.
Williams, I apologize, but we can't have the back and forth.
Ms.
We need
Williams?
to make sure we go to the.
Resources.
Can I speak?
I'm sorry, members.
Hey, Ms. Williams, I wasn't done.
Excuse me. Oh,
members of CB9, we do have a speakers list. Okay, we need to make sure we get to that way. Everybody has the opportunity to speak. Okay, Alejandra, I have you down for a comment.
I similarly want to echo what everybody's been saying. I mean, I also have not slept in like 3 weeks very well. I have a street-facing apartment, you know, and it's really annoying. But at the same time, like the sheer brutality of the police over the last, you know, few weeks and just everything that's been going on, I cannot support, you know, a police-centric approach towards this problem. I mean, it's primarily a fire issue, a fire hazard. You know, we should have the FDNY enforcing these issues, or a more a community-based approach. I cannot support like bringing more police in after everything over the past few weeks.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Hold on 1 second. I'll come back. Melissa, I'm sorry. Were you finished with your comment before? Yeah, Melissa, I'm sorry. Were you finished with your comment earlier? I'm not sure if I cut you off.
Sorry, I was on mute still. Sorry about that. The final thing that I was going to add was that the mayor has already created a task force to address the fireworks issue. So this resolution would be redundant at this point.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Michelle, do you have a comment?
Yeah, so I'm just echoing what everybody else was saying. It's really kind of worrisome that we would think, especially in this environment, that the police are the right approach to this issue. And this is not negating anybody's feelings, as everyone has said. You know, as another person who's a street-facing apartment and has been screaming up a storm that I can't sleep, and I have a little niece who's, you know, been traumatized by the fireworks. So it's not something that I say lightly, that I don't want the police involved. But I think even if the mayor is doing something, I think us as a community, there are plenty of community-based organizations and nonprofits that deal with kids directly and have very good relationships with them and have been able to de-escalate violence in the past by just having conversations and listening to them. So why we wouldn't take the approach of identifying who the community organizations are and the nonprofits around here who every day have relationships with the young people who are probably involved in this, that we can have conversations with. I can't remember who it was who said it at the very beginning, that we need to involve the youth in the conversation. This isn't a conversation about how to get them to behave. It's a conversation on what the heck is going on, that, you know, that this is the only outlet. Let's not forget the fact that there's no funding right now for summer youth. So a lot of the energy and time that could be refocused somewhere else, they have nothing to do. They have nowhere to go. So we're adding to the problem by trying to involve the police right now, when really what we should figure out is, how did we get to the point where we tell them that this is the only option? And obviously you could hear the fireworks right now, but yeah, I don't support this at all. And yeah, I'm just really upset right now.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Mia, do you see any other hands that were raised that I missed?
Hey, Fred. Tessa Hackett.
Yes, Ms. Hackett. Ms. Hackett, you're right.
Yes, thank you, Fred. Thank you, board members. I'll be very brief. Although the fireworks is annoying, and it has been for the last several weeks, I too am unable to support this resolution. There's much chatter on social media that the police are partially indirectly responsible for the fireworks. I find it interesting that there's fireworks in Jersey at the same time that there's fireworks in Brooklyn, Queens, and all 5 boroughs, which in my mind is where all the precincts are. And I've heard social media chatter that seem to indicate that the FDNY and NYPD are the purveyors of the firework annoyance in retaliation for protesting for Black Lives Matter. Crazy as it sounds, that's what the chatter on social media is. I cannot support this resolution. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Hold on one second.
One moment, Mr. Balberg. I have Mina, and then I have Beverly.
Okay, Mina, Beverly, Stewart, we will recognize you then, and then I have Yakov wanted to add some detail.
I don't support this resolution because I live literally a block and a half away from the 71st precinct. And the other night, the fireworks were going on until maybe 4:30 in the morning.
Right.
There's no way that a block and a half away that they couldn't hear what was going on. So I don't feel as if it's their job, or even we should even call them into this situation as is. I don't have a problem with police officers. I think there are good cops, bad cops. It's like there are good teachers, bad teachers. But in this environment right now, with everything going on, to add more to the police load wouldn't be fair to them or to us, because I'm sure during COVID, they've lost coworkers, they've lost friends, they've lost family, as well as everyone else has. And to say now we have to police someone for fireworks, which are dangerous, which are annoying, but you have to think of both sides, their families and our families. And honestly, I have police officers who are family. So to say to them, okay, now go in and try to do with this, with the social issue, which is really, people have nothing to do. It's been 4 months of sitting in your home. There's no sports. The parks aren't open for your kids to play with until like earlier this week. What else is there to do? Now we have maybe 2 more weeks of this. Can we deal with it for 2 more weeks? I've been dealing with it, I don't know anyone else, for the past 3 weeks. But to try to push something through now quickly is not gonna solve the solution for the following years or even for now. I don't think that it's the right thing to do, to try to push things through. That's all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. All right, next, Beverly, you got a comment?
Yes, I understand the frustration with everybody because all of us are hearing the firecrackers, and now it's got so I'm nodding off during the day as well. But I live at Ebbets Field, and I see how cops are when they come on the property. They come on the property very aggressively, especially with the Black guys who are on the patio, just hanging out. Everybody's a criminal that they see, and they handle them roughly. And when they leave, somebody's in handcuffs. The 71st doesn't seem to know how to engage in a communicative way. They come in like a hammer and they go out like a hurricane. And until we identify a way for police officers or make them say, okay, you're approaching us like humans, doing this resolution is only validating, rubber stamping, them coming in and acting like Rambo in communities of people that look like us. They don't. And because I see them at least once every week, they don't come in a way that's professional, that's courteous, that even lends itself to a relationship. NCOs, that's what they were supposed to be for, to get to know the people in the community, to establish a partnership in the community. But NCOs have no power when they come up against the regular officers that are there that were called through 911. They have no power. They just stand by and they look, and that's all they can do. They have no authority. So although I'm frustrated with the firecrackers, we have to find another way to make the police department do their job. That's all we're asking them to do their job. That's it.
Thank you, Beverly. Stuart Balberg, Mr. Balberg? Do you have a question?
I have my personal view. I would like to say that I would have my own approach to do it, but if every one of our 50 board members had their own approach on how to get something done, then the board will continue to be unfunctional, as people have said that it's been doing for 20 or 30 years. The way you get the board moving is the way the chair did it, which is by the committee. That things are vetted by the committee, and you put together a package. And they did. They put together a package, and whether it's perfect, whether it's not perfect, it's well-meaning, it's rounded, it's an attempt to do something. My personal view is budgeting, cutting the budget, saying that they're not budgeted or more budgeted. This won't get us anywhere with the mayor that we have. And so I prefer that. This is what I heard. So number one, the police are doing nothing. Number two, the police are Rambo. I heard all the versions of this approach. I believe that we should throw the kitchen sink at them. Individual groups and members of our community who are gonna go personally confront them. Patrol, state police, National Guard, whatever it takes, because this is a war. And they should come out with handcuffs. You're endangering the community, you go out with handcuffs. And the time to be a wimp, a crybaby, is after this is all over. And that's my opinion. And that's why I'm voting yes. Not because I think it's going to get anywhere, but because we as a committee are trying to do something, and something in this case is better than nothing. Thank you.
All right, Yakov, I think you had a follow-up.
Yeah, I'm just going to be very brief. I just want to clarify the motion is in the chat. Nobody mentioned funding. We said resources. I think I'm a little confused. I don't know that the fireworks are being, there's only one segment of the population doing the fireworks. I think there are many people in the community doing the fireworks. We're not asking the mayor or the police to target anybody. We're simply asking them to enforce the law. And I would agree that if it was just a noise issue, then there are a lot of arguments here that are valid. The problem is it's not a noise issue. It's a danger issue. And people in the community, both from the African-American community, from the Jewish community, young professionals that have moved into the neighborhood recently, they are scared to walk on Eastern Parkway at night. There are fireworks literally being shot from windows into the parkway when people are walking by. There are children that cry themselves to sleep every night. There are people with disabilities, with autism, that are banging their heads against the wall as a result of these fireworks. And the mayor's going to do what the mayor's going to do. But the purpose of this motion is to send a message that you break the law. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable to break the law. And I ask everybody to reflect for one moment. If somebody breaks into my house, should I call 911 or not? Do I have to worry about how the police response is going to be? There's law in this country, and if a segment of the community or anyone is in danger, they have a right to call the police, and the police have to enforce the law. And right now, the fireworks are dangerous. There are people in critical condition in hospitals because of these fireworks. We have to send a message to the mayor that illegal activity has to be stopped and dangerous activity has to be stopped. And that's why I ask everybody to please support this motion. Thank you.
All right. And very briefly, I did put my name on the list to speak as well. And as much as I understand this is well-intentioned and something trying to be responsive to the community, I definitely have to say that I'm sensitive to the fact in terms of we have a crisis with regards to...
Can I speak, Mr. Baptiste?
Okay, Ms. Williams.
I could speak real quickly. Yes. I understand what everybody's saying, but at the end of the day, we still have to realize that the police department is not one person. It's several members, several human beings that make up the police department. They're not all bad cops. And I could tell you, because I've been working with the police department right here at 71 since way back in the 70s. And we've had bad cops. Doing what I'm doing for this building, I was handcuffed by a captain and dragged out of this building barefooted because they were called to have me put out because I was trying to get this building for these tenants. In the same sense, there are officers that would not condone that. I have watched the cops. They're in this block daily. They're assigned to the block. There's the light, the floodlight that the police department have at the head of the block by Nostrand and Hawthorne. And these people don't live on the block. Maybe 3 or 4 of them live on the block, but there are nights we have 100, 200, 300, 400, and they take over the buildings. And if they know you don't like the fireworks, they come to your building and they tell you straight up, we're taking over this building, and they don't live in the neighborhood. So how are you going to get the community to really control these, I call them hoodlums, that don't live in the community? They come, they gather each other by social media, by maybe 2 or 3 people that live in the area, and they find their spot and they take over. And it's hard for the police to really do, because if they don't touch them, then they're not doing their job. If they go up to them to arrest them, then why are you arresting me? They gamble right here in front of our building, throwing $100 bills down. And when the police is coming, they let off a barrage of firecrackers, pick up their money, and run. And if the cops was to run after them and they lay down and say the cops, it's a catch-22 here. And that's why we have to work on this by getting together and have different dialogues and listen to each other and come up with something substantial. But right now, in the next 2 weeks, that is not going to happen. So if the law has to be enforced within this time, that if they don't live in the community and they're here making trouble, they should be arrested.
Thank you, Ms. Williams.
Mr. Chair, it's almost 10 o'clock. We have to move the agenda, please.
And yes, and I have one last comment, and then we're going to finish concluding all our business. So with regards to the motion on the floor, while I understand the intent, and absolutely, I think we should be the voice of the community in terms of, there are service complaints or issues like that, we should do it. I think we need to definitely do this with a context in terms of there is a national dialogue about policing in communities of color. And one of the things that I think we need to be very cognizant of is, while we're trying to cure firecrackers, are police the cure, or are we just throwing gasoline on what's already a bad topic? I think by doing that, potentially it sets the police up for a failure and really just exacerbates an issue. I think that, when Arna Lipkin was on, she was talking about there are definitely tools that we have in the toolbox, and this is not necessarily even saying that the police don't play a role in this as well. Hold on. Can everybody hear me? I see that. Can everybody hear me? All right.
Yes,
Okay.
you're fine.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I think that on the one hand, I understand the intent of this, but I think that we can't just. I wouldn't be very leery about saying, okay, well, listen, community board signed a document sticking the police on people of color in the community, or anybody in general. I think that this needs to be a much more refined conversation. We need to look at all the different tools in the toolbox. I think we had started off earlier in the meeting saying, yeah, no, this is a conversation that should happen. I think what we need to do, and this is again, we need to bring in the 71st precinct. We need to bring in community organizations and groups. We need to talk about it, and we need to really reach out on a block-by-block basis and figure out, because sometimes it's just a word to the right person on a given block to say, you know what, understand you're doing this. I hope you know it's illegal, but at the same time, let's, it's causing more problems than it's doing, and it's disrespectful to the rest of the people in our communities as well. Basically, what I'm saying is that while I understand the intent of this, I think that there are other avenues which we should try before we put our names to a document to say, give more money to the cops and bring it in. I think it's tone deaf, and I think it really doesn't take into account the larger conversation that's happening. And it potentially ties us off in terms of being able to host any other conversations as we go along. This is going to be a hard conversation, but we need to come out in terms of we are bringing people in to talk about this. And it's not just a knee-jerk, well, bring in the cops and the crackheads and get this taken care of. So with that being said, that is the reason why I am not able to support this motion. All right, we're going to close debate on that. We have a number of items. For the benefit of those members who are off, if they have some questions, we'll entertain a few questions from them. But I do want to go back in terms of we have a number of business items we need to start taking care of. So the first item we have is the liquor license. So the recommendation of the committee was to approve with certain stipulations, which have already been indicated to the board. So as we've already had discussion, I will entertain a vote for, we will call the question and vote on the motion, on the recommendation. Warren, are you on?
Yes, I am.
All right, so the motion, the vote we are going to do right now is with regards to the application for 882 Mill Street Avenue. A vote yes is in favor of approving the application. A vote no is to deny the application, to deny approval for the application. Please call the roll, Warren.
Okay, Nicholas Almanar. Nicholas Almanar. Stuart Balberg.
Yes.
Fred Baptiste.
Yes.
Virginia Bechtold. Virginia Bechtold. Yaakov Berman.
Yes.
Warren Burke, yes. Augustine Blackwell. Augustine, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Erin Brown.
Yes.
Alejandra Caraballo.
Yes.
Suki Chong. Suki. Michelle. Josia Cal.
Yes.
Thank you. Violin Doja. Violin.
Verlene Dozier.
Verlin.
Verlene, L-E-E-N.
Thank you.
No, that's Tessa. That wasn't me.
Okay. Rosemary Evering. Rosemary Evering. Tessa Hackett Vieira. Tessa Hackett Vieira.
Yes.
Bishop Sylvetta Hamilton Gonzalez. Bishop Gonzalez.
Virginia Bechtold is here.
Okay, and what's your vote, Virginia?
My vote for which?
For
To
the liquor license, to approve it, to
What?
recommend it. To recommend the liquor license be awarded.
oh yeah, I'm for that.
Okay. All right. Bishop Gonzalez. Shlomo Hecht. Shlomo Hecht. Wayne King.
Yes.
Thank you. Primo Lasana.
Yes.
Francesca Leopold,
Yes.
Mina Lugaye, sorry. I know.
Mina Lute, I do. Support.
Okay, just remember, if someone else is elected, then I won't be doing this anymore. Okay. Nolan Levinson,
Yes.
Melanie Lewis. Melanie Lewis. Michael Labard.
Yes.
Mateus Limburger.
Yeah, that's pronounced Limburger, and yes.
Menachem Margolin.
Yes.
Right.
Carmen Martinez. Carmen Martinez. Robert Mitchell. Robert Mitchell. Vivian Morgan.
From my understanding, I believe there were still a few unanswered questions, so I'm gonna abstain.
Okay. Patricia Moses.
Yes. Yes.
Beverly Newsom.
No.
Yankee Pearson. Yankee Pearson. Real Peer Boobs.
So close, Warren. Yes.
But not quite there. Go ahead. Real,
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Amy Pinkerton.
Yes.
Thank you. Unella Rome Perry. Unella.
No.
Dexter Roberts.
I abstain.
Thank you. Mary Rollison Blackett. Mary Rollison Blackett. Desma Ross. Desma Ross. Melissa Severe.
Yes.
Thank you. Rashida Sadiq.
This is Melissa. Yes.
Liquor license. Yes.
Rashida
Rabbi.
Sadiq, no.
Oh, no. Okay. Thank you, Rashida. Rabbi Sperling. Rabbi Sperling. Debbie Timothy. Debbie Timothy.
Yes.
Lorraine Watson Lloyd. Lorianne. Evelyn Williams.
Warren, Mr. Pearson is back.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I'm here. Kirsten is here. Yankee, sir.
Who is here?
Yankee.
Okay, hold on. Okay, and you vote yes? Okay, Lorianne Watson Lorde. Evelyn Williams. Evelyn Williams.
Yes,
Lorianne-
yes.
Lorianne Wolseley. Lorianne.
No.
Okay, thank you. Give me a moment here. Okay, we have a total of 29 people voting, which is a quorum. Excuse me, we have 24 yeses, 2 abstentions, and 3 noes. So the motion passes.
Warren, could you confirm, I did see in the chat, Janella, I'm sorry, Ms. Blackwell, she had a no vote. Did you record her vote?
No, I had no answer, so I'll put a no in for her.
Yes.
So 24 yes, 2 abstentions, and 4 noes. The motion passes.
And Nicholas is back.
Excuse me?
Nicholas Almana is back. He's on there.
Well, he's not answering about the vote, so that's all I could do. Nicholas, are you there? Okay. The vote passes anyway, so his vote will not be affect the tally.
Okay. Thank you very much. Moving on. Hello? Yes, the motion carried. The recommendation is approved. We'll send a letter to the state liquor license authorities. Next on item we're going to vote on is the resolution for the salary adjustment for Khalid Nixon. For the members of the nominations committee who were not here, the executive committee had drafted a resolution for a salary adjustment to $40,000 for Khalid Nixon. Before we proceed with the vote, do you have any questions that you would like to have answers? Okay, seeing none. First Vice Chair Burke, would you please call the roll? A vote in favor is to approve the salary adjustment. A vote no is you're opposed to the adjustment.
Nicholas Alomar. Nicholas Alomar. Stuart Dahlberg. Stuart Dahlberg. Fred Baptiste.
Yes. Yes.
Got it, Stewie. Thank you. Fred Baptiste.
Yeah. Yes.
Virginia Bechtold.
Yes.
Yakov Bierman.
Yes.
Warren Burke. Yes. Augustine Blackwell.
Chair Burke, is opposed to the adjustment.
Go ahead.
Augustine?
Ms. Blackwell, if you can't, we can't hear you, but if you can, please put your response in the chat. Yes.
It's breaking up.
Okay, Erwin Brown.
It's breaking up. Brown votes yes.
Thank you. Alejandro Carabello.
Breaking up.
Yes.
Alejandro Carabello.
Yes.
Suki Chung.
Yes.
Michelle Caldwell. Michelle.
Yes.
Thank you. Verlene Dozier. Verlin Dozier. Rosemary Evering. Rosemary Evering. Tessa Hackett Vieira.
Absolutely.
Bishop Gonzalez. Bishop Gonzalez. Shloma Hecht. Shloma Hecht. Wayne King.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Primo Lasana.
Strong yes from me.
Thank you. Francesca Leopold,
Yes, yes, yes.
Marna Laguette,
Yes.
Nolan Levinson,
Yes.
Melanie Lewis, Michael Labarge,
Yes.
Matthias Limburger,
C.
Menachem Margolin,
Yes, sir.
Carmen Martinez, Robert Mitchell, Vivia Morgan,
Yes, absolutely.
Patricia Moses,
Yes.
thank you, Beverly Newsom,
Yes.
thank you, Yankee Pearson,
Sorry, I'm muted. I was muted. Yes.
thank you. Real, let me try this, Peer Booms,
Yes. Yes. Warren, very
Amy
good.
Pinkerton, thank you, Amy Pinkerton,
Yes.
Unella Roan Perry,
Yes.
thank you, Dexter Roberts,
Yes.
thank you. Mary Blackett Rollison Blackett, Mary Blackett, Desma Ross,
Yes.
thank you. Melissa Severe,
Yes.
thank you. Rashida Sadiq,
Yes.
thank you. Rabbi Sperling, Debbie Timothy,
Yes.
thank you. Lorianne Lorde, Evelyn Williams,
Yes.
and Lorianne Woosley. Lorianne,
Yes. Excuse me. Yes.
thank you. Give me a sec.
And Mr. Burke, Miss Blackwell, she put in the
Guys,
chat.
please don't talk. Don't talk. I just lost count. Okay?
There's a yes in the chat.
Okay. Thank you.
Now he's got to start all over.
I got to start all over. Okay, for the liquor license. No, I'm kidding. "35 people voted. The vote is unanimous. It passes. Okay, Fred.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to move on to the next voting item, which is the motion by Rabbi Berman. If I can find it so we can read it for, well, hold on one second. Bear with me 1 second. I just want to make sure that we have it read so everyone is clear on what the motion
Put
is.
it in the chat again, all right?
Thank you. Okay, the motion on the floor for the board is that Community Board 9 write a letter to Mayor Bill de Blasio requesting that he instruct the police and give them resources to enforce the laws against illegal fireworks and put a stop to the nightly danger in our district.
I second the motion.
Well, no, the motion is already on the floor. It's already been discussed. Now, for those members of the nominations committee who were gone, now that you have a chance to see the motion, do you have any questions? Very briefly, just want to make sure that before you vote, you have an opportunity to ask the question.
Is the floor open for questions?
Say again?
Is the floor open for questions?
I'm limiting to the nominations committee only because they were not here when we introduced the motion on the floor. All right, seeing none, we're going to call the question. First Vice Chair Burke, please call the roll.
Okay, Nicholas Almanor. Nicholas. Stuart Dahlberg.
Yes.
Fred Baptiste.
No.
Virginia Bechtold. Virginia Bechtold. Rabbi Bierman.
Yes.
Warren Burke, yes. Augustine Blackwell.
No.
Thank you.
First
Aaron
Chair Burke,
Brown.
Nicholas Almanar in the chat has indicated his vote is yes.
Okay. Augustine Blackwell, I got. Aaron Brown.
No.
Alejandra Carabello.
An emphatic no.
Thank you. Suki Chung. Suki.
No.
Okay, and
Yeah,
I see
Warren?
that Virginia just said that she's a no.
Yes, correct.
Michelle Caldwell. Vreeland Dozier. Vreeland Dozier. Rosemary Evering. Rosemary Evering. Tessa Hackett Vieira.
Absolutely not.
Bishop Gonzalez.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Please.
because I've been asking to say something, but then I don't get an answer. No one is responding to what, to make me speak. That's why I'm asking now. But here's what I want to say. I wanted
we're in
to
the
say
middle,
that the
excuse
mayor,
me, Tessa, Bishop, we're in the middle of a roll call. What do you want to do?
I'm
Fred?
sorry?
I said we're in the middle of a roll call vote. It's up to the chair to decide.
Oh, yes. Well, Mr. Chairman, can I say something? Because I've been trying to talk all night and nobody's been able to let me speak.
Yeah, Bishop Gonzalez, I apologize, but at this point, because we tried to open the floor a number of times, and we have to move the meeting because we have to get ready to conclude. I apologize.
So how do we fix it? Is this my last vote? Can I leave after this? Because I've been here since 7:15. And I've not been
Let's
able
get
to
this
ask
vote
a
over,
question.
and you can leave. I think there's nothing else except the
One.
election results.
Bishop Gonzalez, understanding, and we're trying to move this so that way we can let everybody go. We just have to conclude this final business. So we have this vote plus the nominations committee report. So what is
Well,
your vote for this vote?
my answer to this question is absolutely not. No.
Okay.
And I hope I can speak at the next time.
Absolutely. We'll make sure we try and recognize you.
Shlomo Hecht. Shlomo Hecht. Wayne King.
No.
Thank you. Primo Lasana.
Very strong no.
Francesca Leopold. Francesca Leopold. Mina Laguerre.
No.
Nolan Levinson.
Absolutely not.
Melanie Lewis, I believe, is not here. Melanie Lewis. Michael Labard.
Nope.
Mateus Limburger.
Hell to the no.
Menachem Margolin.
Yes.
Thank you. Carmen Martinez. Carmen Martinez. Robert Mitchell. Robert Mitchell.
Went to the board. Ask them.
Vivian Morgan. Vivian
No.
Morgan. Thank you. Patricia Moses.
No.
Beverly Newsom.
No.
Thank you. Yankee Pearson.
Yes.
Thank you. Real Peerbooms.
Yeah, no, sorry, no.
So that's a no, correct, Real?
That's it. Correct, no.
Thank you. Amy Pinkerton.
I've been asking what this vote is for. Is it for the de Blasio letter?
Yes, it's for the resolution concerning the fireworks.
So yes is sending a letter, no is not sending, correct?
Correct.
No.
Come on, Amy, you're not stupid. Come on now.
Members of the board, please, order the day.
I have a very low volume. I can't hear Fred. Sorry.
Okay, order of the day. Thank you. Your vote is recorded. Thank you.
Yanela Roan Perry.
No.
Thank you. Dexter Roberts.
No.
Thank you. Mary Rollison Blackett. Mary Rollison Blackett. Desmer Ross. Desmer Ross.
No.
Thank you. Melissa Severe.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Rashida Sadiq.
Absolutely no.
Rabbi Sperlin. Rabbi Sperlin. Debbie Timothy.
No.
Lorraine Watson Lloyd. Lorianne Watson Lloyd.
I'm sorry, I just got disconnected. My
Who is this?
vote is no.
Who is this? Lorianne?
It's Lorianne Wolseley.
That's Wolseley, not Watson Lloyd.
Okay, I'll take the vote. That's a no.
I'm here.
Okay. Evelyn Williams. Thank you, Lorianne.
Yes.
Okay, and Lorianne Lorde? Lorianne Lorde?
Warren, if I could just for a moment, Nicholas Almanor was confused about which amendment we were voting on. He indicated in the chat that he would like to change his vote to no. I'll let Nicholas speak for himself if he can, but
No, I think that's allowed.
Yes, because I got disconnected. I was still voting on the salary increase. That's what I wanted to vote yes for, but absolutely no.
Who is this?
That was Mr. Albanor.
Oh, I got that. Okay.
Okay. Also, in the chat, I saw, did you record Augustine Blackwell's vote?
Augustine Blackwell. Yes, as a no.
Okay.
Okay, we have, the motion is defeated. We have 28 noes, 5 yeses, no abstentions. So the motion is defeated.
Thank you, Warren.
That's it.
Okay, and for the last item, Nolan, if you could please present the report of the nominations committee with the election results.
Sure. Thanks everyone for bearing with us while we were tallying. Also, fair warning, there's a bit of background noise from fireworks in my neighborhood, so if I tune out, just let me know if I need to repeat something. So I'll just go down the list. For the chair, Fred Baptiste received 38 votes out of the 39 ballots that we received. We received 1 write-in as well for that. So Fred will remain the chair. For first vice chair, Warren Burke received 35 votes out of the 39 ballots, which means that he will remain as vice chair. We received 2 write-in ballots for that as well. For second vice chair, Francisca Leopold received 32 votes out of the possible 39 ballots. Robert Mitchell received 5 votes. For secretary, Alejandra Caraballo received 26 votes, and Stuart Balberg received 12 votes, which means that Alejandra received more than the 50% needed to take that office. For treasurer, Debbie Timothy received 37 votes, which means that she will remain as treasurer. And then for members at large, Ms. Evelyn Williams received 30 votes out of 39 ballots, and Vivia Morgan received 34 votes out of 39 ballots, which was enough to carry them to continue their roles.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chair Levinson. So the committee is now discharged. I would just ask if you could please send a report to the office with the results. The results are all captured, with all the results captured, as well as all the votes for the individual members that you had to call.
Correct. And we'll be sure. I see some notes in the chat about the write-in ballots. We'll be sure to include that information as well.
Please, thank you very much, and I appreciate the work of the nominations committee. And with that, that concludes our business. I want to thank everyone again for hanging in there. I know this is one of our longer meetings. We definitely will try to not make sure they're as long as as this, but at the same time, when we have the work to do, we do it. And I'm very proud of this board because you've done the work all this year, and I'm looking forward to working with this board in this year coming. We have a lot of work to do. This is going to be a working summer. So there will be communications. We have a lot planned in terms of making sure we're moving this board forward. I want to thank everyone again. I want to congratulate all the executive officers. I want to thank all those who run, and I want to thank all the board members. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn this meeting, please.
So moved.
By Ms. Williams. Like nine
Second by
motions.
Tessa.
The second by Ms. Hackett-Vieira. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Oh, come on now. You can do better than us, CB9.
Aye.
Aye.
Dream.
All right, we'll call it. The ayes have it. We now stand adjourned. The time is now
Mr.
10:29.
Baptiste?
Yes.
Mr. Baptiste, can I
That's
speak
right.
to you after?
Absolutely.
Yes. Can you give me a call, please? I'd be grateful.
Not a problem.
Thank
I'll be
you,
with
sir.
you. Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Everyone, take care. Have a great summer. And CB9 is still open. We will have a lot of work to do, and we'll be working. So,
Congratulations.
good night, and be safe.
Good night.
Have a
Good
great
night,
summer.
everyone. Don't forget to wear your mask
Thank you,
and
friend.
be careful. Don't get sick. Stay well over the summer. And whatever you have to do, we have to do. If we have to meet emergency, I'm here. Hope we all can get together to get this community a little better, especially with the firecrackers.
Be well, Evelyn.
Thank you
so
all.
much, my dear.
Enjoy your
Thank you so
summer.
much.
And I know that on 4th of July, you guys are ready for the fireworks, right?
What do you mean the 4th? We don't have to wait for the 4th, apparently.
Well, guess what? It's already here.
Have a great summer.
Already here. Thank you all. Enjoy your summer.
Vivian, give me a call, please.
I will.
Thank you.